All right, let's go ahead and party. Whoa! Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 2D stream. Yes, it's time to show you nerds Trench Crusade stuff. Because I think I've been harping about this game for a while, and I think that we were like, how do make this game work? Let me introduce. Let me say hello to everybody, and then I will talk about what I've been up to, and we can do stuff. I got plans. I got plans and schemes. And then on the YouTube side, hello Hashtastic, hello Matthew, and hello Kosala. Welcome. And on the Twitch side, hello Steve, hello Matthew. Congratulations on your first. Hello Jekyll. Hello Jay. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hello Burrito. How's it going? How's it going? What do you call a Ferris wheel made of aluminum? A non-Ferris wheel. Oh, time to end the stream. How you doing, Joker? Welcome. Thank you for the follow, and welcome to the workshop. I gotta move the little alert thing. It's gonna get buried in PDFs. This is not gonna be super duper deep on there, but thank you. Oh shit, we got a scam train going. Fuck you. How you doing, Terry and sometimes Ghost? Hope you guys been. Yeah, Wench Crusade. I mean, like, what's the Gary Gygax like harlot table? We could just digest that for 4 hours instead. Honestly, that table is fucking wild. There is I don't remember what edition of D&D it is, but there is just like a table that, like, if you want to roll for what type of hooker your player's about to get with, there's like slovenly strumpet. What if I could even just find that? If I could just be like like D&D strumpet table. If I can find that. Oh yes, the random harlot table. Let's go. All right. I'm sure you guys are like, let's take a look at this cool game. Oh, it's like a weirdly recursive thing I'm going into. There we go. You know what? Fuck this war game and everything. Oh yeah, I mean, weird did have like dead doxies and stuff, but that's because they were all Jack the Ripper related. Oh yeah, for people who don't know, this is a ancient table. Harlot encounters can be with brazen strumpets or haughty courtesans, just making it difficult for the party to distinguish each encounter for what it is. In fact, the encounter could be with a dancer only prostituting herself as it pleases her, an elderly madame, or even a pimp. How you doing, Andre John? Exactly. It's a wild table. Like the fact is, like, for the most part, that, like, in theory, you think it gets better as you go. Like slovenly troll, I imagine is less good than cheap trollop. I don't know. I feel like saucy tart should be higher. I feel like a saucy tart's a nice lady as opposed to a wanton wench. But anyway, nothing about that. That's not what we're doing. Yeah, to be fair, it's one of those tables. I don't know. They're all basically just fun ways of saying whores, but they just, Gary Gygax had a dictionary, and he's like, well, let's fucking do it. I assume he was the one who made that. I don't have, like, I didn't do my research on that. I prepared stuff for today. But here, let me give you a better idea of what kinds of stuff I've been prepared for today. Bam. Hey, check this out. We got the, we can always blame Gary. Where's the pig bottom class? I don't know. You have to roll in a different table for that. But yeah, so I have been spending honestly a lot of yesterday and today putting together some general terrain nonsense. Some of you might recall maybe like a month or two ago I made these little trenches. I did not like them. I was like, oh, there's too much color showing through, and the little grating on the side, the little there we go. You can see like the little corrugated cardboard, which is supposed to be like little metal sheets, was getting really flimsy. And I was like, what am I going to do? This is ruined. And I'm like, wait a minute. I could just cover it Mod Podge and spray paint it with spray paint it with spray paint. And I did that. And I rescued all 4 of them. And I also have 4 more trenches and 2 big trenches. My table they do look a lot like brownies, to be fair, Terry. Like they or like, cause like it's got cupcake wrapping on it. Like, this is what cupcake wrapping is kind of like. It's got that same style. It's probably roughly the same material, just without the aluminum there. Yeah, I mean, these do have some like little coffee. I think these are technically not coffee stick stirrers, but they were similar, like balsa wood nonsense, whatever. I would love to go for a cake. I have not had a cake since. Did a cake for my birthday? I know I ate out, but I forgot if I got cake or not. I'll have to get me a slice of cake. I want some cake. Get me a good old German chocolate cake. How you doing, Solda? How you doing? No, I do not have sus materials. No, there's nothing sus. That's just like, is this not just an ass emote? Is that just Randon's green ass that you can just put on Twitch? I mean, good for him. I'm just kind of surprised. I'm surprised Twitch let that through. I guess they're like, that looks fine to me. But yeah, so the way this is going to go down is I'm going to kind of show everybody. But yeah, so I've been working on this. This is also, I'm going to be painting this a bit more tomorrow. This is a mushroom container that has been covered in pumice, little texture stuff. We got some gravel that's been kind of like glue Mod Podged into the base. It's like I like the shape. It's like a nice little bunker. It's better than what I had previously, which was nothing. Yeah, you guys get the left hand today exposed. Ooh. But yeah, I've been vaguely aware of the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight. How you doing, Ars? Welcome. What does Hal do? I paint rats. No, not today. I don't. There might be a rat on screen. I could put some rat minis on there, but yeah, I didn't super duper watch that, but I was like, yeah, I'm not surprised that a fit, like, relatively young guy beat up a 58-year-old man. Like, that was a bummer. I think, like everybody, I don't have a huge, like, hate boner for Jake Paul. For he's just some, like, annoying attention whore YouTuber I do not pay attention to. But, like, if he would have got his lights clocked out, that would have been great. But I don't know. I feel like when you even a fit, famous old man, you are still fighting an old man. Yeah, that's kind of what I did, Odd Man. But yeah, apparently he's got, like, a crazy ass. I have not looked at Mike Tyson's ass because I basically did not engage with that whole thing whatsoever. Thank you for that, Pat. I did move my Stream Deck to be directly by my keyboard. I'll be able to reach it. But yeah, because I was in a mini making frenzy. He should have. I honestly, I would have liked if he like ripped the ear off. Fuck it. Like, who's going to persecute like an old man biting someone's ear off? Well, the champ. Yeah, I think I've heard the general sentiment of like, I hope he was paid well. I'm sure he was. I'm sure he got like a fat stack, and I hope that is true. I hope that's. But yeah, it does just make him look like a bigger dick. So yeah. There you go. You made your money on Paul. I don't blame you for betting on him because I think that would have been the safer payout. But I do. Moss, how you doing, Moss? How you doing? Hello, Black Roses. How you doing? 40 mil. Oh, okay. That's still a fat chunk of change for both. And hello, Matthew. Welcome. How you doing? His idea. I don't know. I don't know how much that's true, but it doesn't really matter. There we go. Got my drink. Got some stretch. I got a little. I see the little thing that's like, oh yeah, no, there's gonna be some. Okay, there we go. Twitch ads are activating. We'll wait a little bit and we'll get going on that. Also, how you doing? How you doing, Uzak? How you doing? Welcome. And hello, Yayuri. Thank you for the sub as well. Also, thank you earlier, Matthew, for giving Steve a something. There was a couple of other Jath or the bits. I saw the scam train was real. Let's go. You EMTA streams on Twitch. I don't know who EMTA is, to be fair. I don't. I should I be aware of it there? The Erie Metropolitan Transit Authority. Assume. Oh, eating Mike Tyson's ass. Okay, now I know who that is. For people who are like more from like the mini war game side, eating Mike Tyson's ass was a infamous, like, troll is a bit harsh. Eating Mike Tyson's ass was a prankster. He would go because like whenever you would give money to a Hololive, at the end of a like basically what they would do is they get so many donations that they spend like the last either 10 minutes of the stream or like a separate stream just to thank everybody. And because they don't speak English super well, they'd be like, thank you eating Mike Tyson's ass for like arigato. thank you for the money. And they, like, other people would be like, oh God. And then after a while, they wised up. So even like people who do not have the best English in Hololive would be like, hey, I fucking know you. I fucking know you, you fucking goober. He was just a fire one to fight. Oh, okay, oh, that's good then, I guess. Can I play? I don't have that available, and I don't know the quickest way to get that on screen. I'm not. If you just look up Corone eating Mike Tyson's ass, I'm sure you'll find. Maybe look at that on Google. Maybe not YouTube. YouTube might be a bit much. But yeah, okay. So let's see any other biggie updates. I'm working on a mini, but I don't know if I have much to share. I've been putting together this real baller guy for yeah. The problem is like it's going to be hard for me to show very specific minis. My camera is really far out in order to make this setup work. How's how you doing, Harold? We will get the Trench Crusade. Don't worry. Double check my. There we go. Try to get like a little bit. I'm trying to use minis that are already painted. I only really have a fully painted black Grail warband, to be fair. Yeah, get those splotches, but we'll be going through stuff. Well, I am slowly putting together warband for every faction, but it's really lopsided. So the ones that are the most complete are my black Grail guys, which, well, these are the ones I actually play at the store. I was happy chappy. Welcome. How you? And then I got my Trench Crusade, what's it called? My Trench Pilgrims, which are mostly repurposed turnip models because I tend to do my turnip guys very culty. So it fit, oh my God, you're halfway to sending my ass outside, aka going to my yard, just grabbing dirt and bringing it back and be like, yo, here it is. One of you guys is going to redeem that in the middle of winter. And like, maybe if I'm unlucky, it'll be snowy around. Anyway, here's, that's how you doing, Horror Loving. Welcome. Let's go ahead. You do not need this material to follow along, but if you would like links to like the rules and stuff, they are free. Also, I should once again state I am not affiliated really in any way with the Trench Crusade people. They've given me shit. I will not deny that, but no, this is. I just really like this game. So I want to, and I want to, and this also, I think a lot of people have been like, that Kickstarter did $3 million. What's the deal with Trench Crusade? So, yeah, well, you'll find out. You'll find out what the deal is. Yeah. Oh, I want to get some barbed wire stuff. I don't have any barbed wire yet. I have a bunch of sandbags and other stuff, but yeah, yeah, Nurglings are also good options. I also did find some ways to get so. The Kickstarter's done, and it's going to be pretty easy to print stuff if you have a printer, but not a lot of people do. So I found some options that if you would like just to get minis. Okay. I don't think they do sponsorships. I don't think that's a thing they do. I'm okay. Honestly, I'm okay with my position. It's not that big of a what do? I paint Trench Crusade. No, it doesn't have the same cadence, but it's still fun. Anyway, so for people coming in, what the fuck is Trench Crusade? Trench Crusade is a war game. Estimate on the full release. From what I understand, I believe the pledge manager will be happening within the next week or two. And then post a pledge manager. I think it's going to take about 2 weeks. I think it's going to take about 2 weeks for the 3D print STLs to get out. I don't know what the shipping time is on the other minis. And then, yeah, what Terry's saying about the rule books. Hardcover rule books will be coming next June. And the actual, like, rules of the game will be available for free online at all times. How you doing, Billy? How you doing, nobody? Yeah, you honestly, you have to show things for free. I feel like at some point the modern internet forgot the lesson of, hey, if you like something, you should show it to a lot of people, out of maybe some like cringe protection or whatever. It's bad. But I remember what you're supposed to be doing, which is if you like a thing, let people know you like the thing and talk about the thing you like. Yeah, but yeah, I also have intensity for the minis. How's how you doing, Vig? How you? Too. Yeah, we'll get some drink. I also got some of that really cool super menthol squeezy tube stuff, which I've not done that yet. Honestly, yeah, Matthew, I do legit appreciate it, 100%. But yeah, let's get started. For the most part, I don't need to go. This is a 139-page rulebook. We're not going to need to go through like everything super duper deep, because that's not particularly necessary. General things were like basically we'll go through the rules. More or less, the idea is we get. I'm wearing an apron. What's it called? Because attention span is up to snuff. No, that's fair. That's fair. But what's it called? Basic idea is imagine the Templars opened a rift to hell, I believe on accident in Jerusalem during the Crusades era, or a little bit during the Crusades era. And then after that, hell has sort of encroached upon Earth, and there's a bit of like a alt history dive. That's more or less the base setup. The typical like one sentence pitch is like, what if World War I was against deep? That basically gets you there. Just like little fine setting features, but we're not gonna go super deep. Also, all the art's bitching. The thing I really liked is they got like Wayne Barlow and a bunch of people. Oh, did they do it on purpose? The thing I'm excited for about the new book, honestly, is like the one criticism, because this was made as a personal setting and not like a war game first and foremost. It turned into a war game. It turned into a good one, but originally this was just a dude making like cool art. Is that eventually the final rulebook is going to like condense all that and to have one easy to find place, and boy, I'm ready. Actually, for the most part, they do kind of like really unify. So more or less, like New Antioch. Did you black bar the booba? Oh yeah, for the stigmatic nun. It's okay. We'll avoid that. So the nun does have just tits out covered in blood. So I think everything else is basically free real estate. That one I'll have to keep that in mind. I think the Praetor might also have just like a loose tit. Hold on. Let's see something. Christian manga. This is one of those images that I've downloaded like 8,000 billion times, but I never have it on hand for some reason. It's all the versions only. There we go. I need once again, I need the incredibly low res version of this. I need the lowest res. It's okay. We'll have our little censor thing too. We'll have that going on. So if things do get a bit hairy, and by hairy I mean actually just like thick of tit, we'll have options. Being incredibly dumb. Apparently Google's doing that thing where it's like, this image is not available while also displaying this image. It's like kind of downside of like image hosting sites. Those are just kind of trash because eventually they go offline and they kill their entire backlog. Let's get, you know, I think I cut it off a little. That's fine. We got this. We got this. I don't know when we'll need it. I know she's like roughly on this side of the page. We'll go from there. We'll go from there. Yeah, I don't want to breast boobily and get bonked. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But yeah, let's go to the rules. So, yeah, typically you don't need a lot of minis. A lot of people are curious what the scale is. You need probably anywhere, like a starting warband will probably have maybe like 8 to 10 dudes. So the two ones you're going to see right on screen right now are there is, if you go to the website, there are demo warbands. Here's sort of like a little example. If you're like, oh, there's a lot of options for like building your dudes, because it's very much base dude, buy gear. That's how you customize. That's how you customize. Also, that's what Matthew's saying about the scale: 25 millimeter, 32 millimeter, stuff like that. Yeah. Oh yeah, but so yeah, going back to that, basically, yeah, it's like New Antioch and Iron Sultanate are the two bastions of civilization. There's like ideological differences, but for the most part, they're willing to generally work together because, you know, hell. Not that they don't like skirmish, because at the end of the day, when it comes to a war game, you need an excuse for why like every faction can fight every other faction. Warhammer is like, oh yeah, like Warhammer's like, oh yeah, my guardsmen can fight your ultramarines because, you know, sometimes they get wacky. Trench Crusade's sort of big thing is you got those little ideological differences that sometimes crop up. Yay, there we go. But otherwise, yeah, generally everyone more or less works together. But yeah, you could also do the little chaos though. I guess in this one you could be like, you're clearly working for Satan, I must kill you. But yeah, the humanity is a bit more united in Trench Crusade for the most part. I'll explain the factions a little bit once we get to them. You need terrain, as usual, use what you got, ideally, like, heavier the better. Making trenches, are there any female faction? Not, if you mean, like, Sisters of Battle where they're all female, not really. The only gendered unit I can think off the top of my head are Stigmatic Nuns, but otherwise you can basically do whatever. Well, if it does, oh god, I feel the puns coming. But yeah, I'll tell you didn't. Hey, don't worry, we're really just starting, so don't worry. Also, yeah, this is also one of those, like, if the Satan factions would get their shit together, they would easily win, but they're not because they're demons. So, yeah, you can just do whatever you want. Some people want to make a bigger deal about that. Just do whatever. Just do whatever you want for your minis. In terms of gender stuff, they're your minis who give shit. Measurement tool. Okay, so here's basically how the game plays overall. I'm not even going to need to really... I'm going to hide the PDF a couple times because it's not super necessary. When it's your turn, you activate a model and your opponent activates a model and you go flippy reversey. Yeah, exactly what Joker's saying. It'll be timed. Fight. Well, maybe not all the time. So the big thing about Trench Crusade is you have a model. So I'm gonna scoot these other guys just to this little trench so we got a bit more room. There we go. I'm gonna leave you, my lad, who will be my this guy's effectively a trench pilgrim. So you can do as many actions as you want during your turn, but you can only do each action once, and you got a couple of different options. So one of them is move. It is your basic, I am going to move, like usually like 6 inches, you know, just like I'm going to take my guy, put him here. You can climb up shit if you have enough movement. There are times you might have a hard time climbing, so we'll explain that later. But yeah, you can. I'm not going to get super deep into the weeds for measuring stuff, but just, you know, general rough idea. You can climb stuff. Height advantage is real for attacks. There's spacing. You usually get one move. However, there is an alternative action called dash. And because of that, I also want to pull this up. Hey, the action success chart. This is really elegant because this powers more or less the entire system. Most things in Trench Crusade, you start at 2d6 and you might add extra dice. If you hit a 7, you succeed. Some things will have crit stuff. And that's it. That's pretty straightforward. Other things will like certain weapons will add dice. Certain things will subtract dice if you're like injured. We'll get into that a bit later. But yeah, overall, that's pretty much what everything will do. Like sometimes, so one action you can do is dashing, which is effectively a free move. The reason why you would want to dash instead of moving first is that in order to charge, you have to use your actual move. So let's say in theory, this is a very stupid move. This is my Lord of Tumors. You can tell by his big axe and how big he is. Like size comparison wise, this is a dumb maneuver. 5'11" versus 6'0". Let's say my guy wants to charge him in melee combat for reasons. The normal 6 inches would not get me there. Oh yeah, I feel real bad. Like the 3 through 6 range isn't too bad for like stuff, but like I saw a guy who would proceed just to do nothing but roll 6s. Because technically like 7 is a statistical average, so you typically on average will succeed more than you fail. But yeah, so I'm gonna do like a little example. Some actions are risky, like dashing. So in order to do a risky action, you have to roll your dice, and you have to succeed. And if you fail a risky action, his turn is done, and your opponent can do shit. So it's named a dashing. That sounds about right, honestly. I can see that as like a very spoony bard kind of thing. I'm gonna pretend like this guy's gonna try to charge him. So I'm gonna roll my dice. It's fun to roll physical dice on my VTuber stream. Let's go. And I rolled hit. Jesus Christ! I rolled boxcars on dash. That's a fucking waste, but it works. So now I could be like, okay, he's going to move over here for his dash, and he still has his regular move. So he could go ahead and move over here to charge. Yay, he's in melee combat now. No for the 2d6. Oh, indeed. Also, hello, DFC C72 Neon. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's it going, everyone? If you do not know me, I am Halbernut the Mimic Elf. I'm a miniature painting VTuber of the Nurgle and Skaven variety. And today, I'm showing people how to play Trench Crusade, which is a very, very cool war game. It's a very, very neat war game that I'm a big fan of, and it's doing good recently, so I'm very excited. But yeah, I'm doing good. Hopefully you're what's it called? The Zenless Zone Zero. That's the one with the rat lady with the big butt that people keep talking about on the internet, right? That's all I really know. It does have naked nuns covered in blood. It's got a lot of shit in it. We'll go through the units later. There's some fun units. But all my interaction with gacha games these days are just seeing fan art because people like to draw them a lot. So yeah, I'm explaining basically how this game works. The horrors of war and whatnot. I'm gonna move this just so I have a little bit more movement. Typically, like I said, I don't know if this is like the ideal base. I have about a foot and some change to put on screen. I don't have like a full proper I don't have like a good battle report setup. So we're gonna do like a real micro one. I'm Clan Gunner, goddamn. Anyway, there we go. So I'm gonna move this and put them like right dead center so we can simulate a fight. Oh yeah, a little punch. Oh, thank you. Oh, the bunker for people who would like to make their own bunker. You know what this fucking is? This is a mushroom container. If you go to like Kroger or whatever, you can just get a mushroom container, and like it has like a really good like design. And all you need to do, like, I didn't clip the sides of this, which I needed to. I'll probably just cover it in sandbags later. But yeah, I just glued it to some foam board, covered it in some gravel and some texture, and I spray painted it like a military olive. And hey, there we go. It's not done yet, but it's roughly there. I will not put that on screen. Yeah, it's basically the idea of like the egg carton. They're like, I see like lots of good soda terrain too. How you know, crappy cosplayer? Yeah, I mean, legitimately, a lot of terrain building is just advanced recycling. It's super good. I had to buy stuff for the what's it called? For the trenches. They're spaced out right now. The idea is that normally I'd put them really close together. You know, I will not be showing feet. No. Yeah, we got to say. I imagine they're pretty common. This is also a 3D printed little hatch. These are just little like wood planks. Not the fanciest thing, but overall, like, I cannot stress this enough. If anyone's like, I would like to make terrain, but I feel like my terrain's going to look bad, I really need to emphasize that even, like, the most, like, shitty, mediocre terrain, the worst terrain still looks great. It's better than, like, L-shaped ruins or nothing. So just try your best. There's a lot of fun YouTube tutorials for how to do terrain. That's basically what I'm going to do, Ghost. This is not done. Tomorrow I will be finished painting these. So I'm thinking doing a little bit of sponging, some rust effects and whatnot. 3D printing is a good option too. I do have some 3D printed terrain bits. I just literally made all these today, and I'm like, I want to put them on screen. So yeah. What else is going on? So yeah, that was just for movement. I have to, if you're wondering like why I'm waving, is because the camera's zoomed out more. Usually I do things a lot closer to me, but like this has got some distance, which is nice. But yeah, I'm gonna simulate a combat example. Let's go. Let's see if there's any other really immediate like thing I need. There we go. Yeah, I understand, like on paper I get tournament legal terrain. I get it. You're doing a tournament, you want things to be fair. A lot of them look fine. Like, legitimately, there are places that sell directly, like, good MDF terrain that, like, a big tournament person can just run. But there's a lot of examples of, like styrofoam L-shaped ruins that look awful. It's really because, what's it called? I think they're fine. It's just that, like, L-shaped ruins can look good, but you need to, like, you know, dress them up. You have to make them look like terrain. If you just leave like basically just like L-shaped foam, you're not going to get as much out of it. I'm basically right now doing Trench Pilgrims versus Black Grail because that's just what I got. I have assorted models from other factions, but it's oh god, Chocolate, what are you doing? What are you doing, buddy? How you doing, though? Yeah. I think really it's just because Games Workshop's line of sight rules are bad. Games Workshop says, like, okay, if your model is tall and someone can see it, you can shoot it. And, like, that makes a lot of sense. From like intuitively, it makes intuitive sense because you're like, oh, I can see them all, I can shoot it. But then it's weird because of profiles, like also like just the general shape of models to just make a tall model becomes a disadvantage. But anyway, I'm not here to bitch about Games Workshop. I'm here to show Trench Crusade. Let's go. So I'm gonna do a little example. I'm gonna remove the big guy. The big guy's way too scary. Let's do Grail Thrall. Let's do messy. I can do that. Hey, there we go. Let's get super cash. Yeah. So. I'll probably eventually have all the factions, but like Trench Pilgrims, these guys are for turnip, but they work. I did very like roby stuff. Well, I'm gonna put this little guy in here. He's coming out of the building. He's ready to fuck this guy's shit up. What are your ways to deal with it? One of it's shooting. No, I'm not here to I'm not gonna bitch about Magic the Gathering today. Maybe. So let's just pull up the example. I'm going to pull up the example stats from the... I'm basically just using the examples that they give for the demo stuff. I will show you guys a good tool to use for building your list. No, we'll eventually do that. Yeah, let's go. He does have a Molotov. He does have a Molotov. I don't think I'm going to use it this exact example, but I'm just going to... stick with basic weapons. So he's got a bolt action rifle. The Trench Pilgrim's stats are basically... The Trench Pilgrim is like the most vanilla, cheap-ass piece of shit guy ever. I'm gonna move this over here. It's nice to have. He's got no bonuses and no penalties. So we're just gonna go straight dice. So let's say... Hold on. I'm gonna have a lot of PDF junk. Let's just say this guy wants to shoot this dude. First you measure, it's 24 inches. So there we go. Let's get the measurement. 24 inches is easily there. The other thing you want to measure is if it's within half distance. If it's within half distance, there's no penalty. And if it's farther out, you take a negative die penalty, which I'll explain in a bit. So it's definitely within half distance. But then he would just roll 2d6 to shoot. Like basically everything in the game. And I rolled a 7, so I hit exactly. Let's go. So we're going to go to the injury table, and I'm also going to explain positive and negative dice. Let's go. This is because like there's no true damage in this. Like there's no HP in the system. There's no HP in the system. But here I'll show you how wounding works. So normally you just take 2d6. That's the base level. Then certain things will affect that. Like this guy has an ability that gives a negative die to injuries. So and what negative dice do is you add extra die, and when you roll, you just drop the highest number. The alternative is if he had a positive die, what you would do is you would just add the die, and you would subtract the lowest when you're done. Usually the end result will always be at least 2 dice. So this guy in particular has because Black Grill's big thing is that they are sturdy as shit. Oh yeah, you can totally do that. You can actually totally do that, Joker. I will be explaining some stuff. It's very intuitively like D&D Advantage, to be completely honest. It's a very nice system. I'm a big fan of it. So I wounded this guy. Also, Meadow, thank you for the follow and welcome to the... Oh god, I dropped a die. Doing. Because I think you're like Meadow. You're another Nazuna child, right? Yeah. Oh, Nazuna's so fucking good. Honestly, shout out to my art mama. She is insane. You're willing to know who forged my goo. Let's do that. Yeah, penalty and bonuses negate each other. Oh yeah, you don't. So you actually don't have to pick official models. You don't have to pick official models. They actually straight up in the Kickstarter, like conversions and third-party models are legit forever. So they're the exact opposite stance of Warhammer. If you've ever thought that Warhammer's rules for being like needing official models was real shitty, you don't have to worry about it. Don't have to worry about it. And I will show you guys how to get some models if you don't have access to the Kickstarter stuff. Some of the factions will be easier to find than others, but we'll go from there. So I'm gonna do the shoot. I have a negative die, so I take two. I roll. I roll 3. Yeah, it does feel real good. It's been a while since I rolled physical dice, like, in this little area. So there we go. Okay, I will never roll this good again. What the fuck, everybody? I rolled 3 6s. So, in this example, I would roll... They're usually... I wish they were loaded. I bring these dice to the store. So you remove the highest. And then we go to the injury table. The injury table, which I'll go ahead and pull up just so you guys can see. I am rolling hot. So there's a couple different effects. If you roll a 9 up, the model is just fucking dead. I am really 6 heavy. So in this example, this model is just fucking dead, and he's just removed from the game. He's just gone. He's just gone. Oh, the nice thing is I can clip that and be like, I don't roll shit sometimes. So I'm gonna say, can't wait for the fuck up. Hey, let's go. I don't know. I have bad dice luck usually. But we're gonna. Oh no, a second one came out. Whoa, wow. Okay, let's do another example. Let's do another example of an injury. So we're gonna roll 3d6, 2d6 base, and then he's got a negative penalty because he's a tough zombie man. There we go. There we go. So in this example, you would remove the highest. So that's a 3. If you roll 1, they do nothing. If you do 2 to 6. And pull the table up a little bit, you get just a minor hit, which gives you a blood marker. Blood markers are basically how you do damage. So this guy gets a little blood marker. And what blood markers are good for are a couple things. One, if this guy decides to attack my dude, I could be like, yo, I'm going to spend your blood marker to make your rolls shittier. You effectively give them a negative die for each blood marker you spend. The big thing is important though. I'm gonna do like a theoretical charge. I'm gonna have this guy charge this guy. They're going to start scrapping. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 2d6 to hit. I missed. I'm just gonna pretend I hit. There we go. Whoa! I rolled an 11. Yippee! Let's go. So normally 2d6 and a penalty for this guy. However, you can spend a blood marker. You can spend a blood marker to give yourself an extra die. So that would actually remove the penalty die. And you go, I'll just roll flat. Roll a 3. I'm going to do a lot of dice fudging for the sake of examples. We're just going to do that. Wow. Yeah. Whoa. DM magic. That was actually a 7. So when he gets a 7, he gets knocked down. I have very nice models that I don't want to put on their side. So I have like, these are usually my panic tokens for turn up 28. So I usually will just put a little one next to them. I am absolutely cheating. And put a little die there. So that's when they're down. A down model is knocked down. It is easier for you to injure them. I believe it's let's see. If the target's down, you add +1 to dice when determining injuries. So there's that. So next time, if I was to hit him in melee combat, I get an extra die, which is nice. The big thing, though, is if you have 3 dice. Let's say this guy's got this guy. Let's just say in a theoretical scenario where this guy's gotten the shit beat the fuck out of him. No, I don't want. Like I will never understand people who cheat in war games. I can understand cheating in gambling because money's on the line. Cheating in war games is like it's a game. You're supposed to have fun and play, and like a game is, for me, a game is not a game unless there's a lose state, more or less. It doesn't need to be like a crippling lose state. Like I could play a game where it's like, oh no, if you don't do well, the brownies will burn, and like that's a good enough lose state for me, honestly. I just need some failure condition. But the nice thing is if they have 3 blood dice and they're 3 blood markers and they're knocked down, or 6 blood markers and they're not knocked down, you get an effect called, you can spend them all. You use an effect called Bloodbath, where you get an extra die for the injury roll, but you add it. You don't take away the lowest. You just get 3 dice and you add them together. So I'm gonna pretend like I Bloodbath the fuck out of this dude, which is pretty cool. Already got 1 die because he's knocked down. We're gonna be mathing a little bit in the beginning, so don't worry. In this example, I would drop the lowest, and then I would add all these together, and 13 would kill them. So it's basically, you hit them or do nothing, which is really rare outside of armor. Armor will just subtract its value from the damage. Minor hit will get you a blood marker. A down will get you a blood marker and knock you down, which is a 7 or 8. It's pretty intuitive. 7 or 8, you knock them down. And a 9+, they're just dead. And this game is very campaign focused. Yeah, you roll to hit and then you roll for the injury. Yeah, there are 2 separate rolls. Certain weapons will have bonuses for certain things. So like I'm tired. Like my main faction is the Black Grail. So I'm actually gonna say I'm gonna show you another example. I'm gonna say the Herald of Beelzebub. So he's just gonna move and his theoretical turn he's gonna activate. So he's got the height advantage. There's no defensive penalty for being high, but there is an offensive. So just an example of how good positive dice are. He's got 2 base. His weapon, the Putrid Shotgun. Just pretend he has a Putrid Shotgun. How you doing, Sasha? How you doing? I'm showing everyone how to play Trench Crusade because I've locked all these people in with my nerd bullshit. It is fun though. It is fun. I legitimately, when I went to the store to play the demo games, he got more kills than anything else in my warband. I love this guy. He is my good luck little guardian angel cherub, but he is higher than this dude. So you get an extra die to hit, and then also his shotgun has a thing that he just gets another die. So the more positive dice you stack, the more you guarantee good results you want. Like it still can't really cap out higher than a 12, but like okay. In this example, I drop a 3 and a 4, so I got 9. So yeah, I hit. It's very easy to hit if you're a guy with a shotgun and you're in the air. But it varies how many models in the warband, Nintendo. Starting you get 700 ducats, which will probably give you maybe like anywhere between 8 to 10 dudes. It depends. Like, dude spam can work. Like you can just say like, all right, like Trench Pilgrims can do dude spam where it's like, what you got? You got a bayonet, you got a rifle, you got a body. That's a package of maybe like roughly maybe like 45 points, and you have 700 to go. So you could just layer them on. Now, it will be kind of hard to kill shit outside of hot rolls, but hey, volley, like the more hot rolls you do, the better. So yeah. Oh, Pilgrims with what? You do have to bring a hero unit. Usually every army will have like, this is the mandatory your leader representation. Like in this example, this is my war prophet, which is my turn up 28 guy who's standing on a pile of severed feet. But yeah, you could, otherwise you could do that. You could do something very, very close. You could do 1 war prophet and then just a bunch of Trench Pilgrims. I don't think that's the best way to play them, but you can. There's a lot of option for both like trying to optimize and also just like being real goofy. Like, if you just want to be real fucking silly, you can. 20 wretches. Oh, God. The wretches do have... I think that's why the wretches have a limit. The wretches are like, no, you can't bring that many. Other things. There's other little, like, things to just kind of talk about, just stuff. Cover is really easy. I should mention cover because, you know, hey, this is a system with a lot of guns, and the best way to not get your shit shot is to be in cover. I'm gonna bring back theoretical little dude. I'm gonna say he's like right here between the trenches, and then this guy is right here. The way cover works is you have to be in contact with a piece of scenery, and there has to be like some line of sight blockage. Like that's really it. So, like, in theory, if, like, my guy was here, he would not be in cover, but just, like, any sort of, like, little blockage bit. And it's just, like, as usual, it's just a minus die. So if my guy tries to shoot a guy in cover, 3d6, drop the highest. So in that case, I would actually drop the 4, and I would miss. Cover is really important. I forget how many, like, ecclesiarchy prisoners you can bring. But yeah, cover's a big deal. I think otherwise, I think I more or less went over everything else. Got the PDF up, and we'll go PDF crew. Injury chart. There is a morale thing where basically if you lose half your models, you have to roll a morale and just 2d6, try to hit a 7. And you either skitter the fuck out of the way on death, or you have a chance to keep going. Effectively, the morale thing is also just like if somebody would try to cream your entire army, they can't. or like you get the option to bail if you really need to. Because here's the thing, this is like you can do one on, like you can't just do like I'm going to the store, I'm bringing my guys, you're bringing your guys. You can totally do that. A lot of this game is meant to be played in a campaign mode. Like you get more money between each fight. Certain dudes might get little campaign perks. They might get permanent injuries, stuff like that. So that's kind of like a little safety valve for that. And yeah, basically, you go, you activate a dude, your opponent activates a dude until everyone's done. Then the battle round shifts over, and then whoever's the least amount of models active, I believe, gets to go first. And I think ties get rolled on. Yeah, also, once again, the art. I think that's fine. Those are just lumpets. The art fucks super hard in here. There's a bunch of keywords. I am not going to go over all of them, or really any of them. Okay, I'll explain basically I think I want to do this. How's how you doing, Toast? How you doing? Risky actions are I think I mentioned those earlier, but if not, I should really emphasize because they are pretty important. Risky actions, before you do them, you have to roll a 2d. You basically have to roll the 2d6 and try to hit a 7. If you fail a risky action, your turn's over. So things like dashing has a chance of failure. So like, and I'm just going to do a quick little PDF thing. So let's say you see this Grail throw, but like you don't want to expose yourself. In theory, you could dash, shoot, and then duck back, which is pretty sound, but here's the thing. Hey, it's all good, Marfin. Don't worry, I just explained combat. We still got plenty more of the stream to do. There will be this will be a VOD on my YouTube for everybody who is on the Twitch side if you like missed something. I don't know if I'm going to edit this into something shorter, but that's fine. But yeah, so in theory, like you could dash. Let's say you move, because the movement's guaranteed. You shoot. Let's say a big shoot that happens. Then you want to dash back, so you could like roll a 6. And also, Oddman John, thank you for the follow formally, and welcome to the workshop. Thank you. But yeah, so like in this example, I rolled a 6 for a risky action to dash. I failed. He's done. He's exposed, so they are risky. Like risky actions are risky to do. Just imagine if you do them and you fail, it's bad news bears. But yeah, keywords are pretty explanatory. A lot of keywords will do extra damage, and there are like gear that fights against them. Assault lets you this is actually something important for assault. If you do a ranged attack, you can't charge unless your weapon has assault. So pistols, grenades are a big one where you can throw a grenade if you have it and then charge it. And grenades are also infinite. You have infinite grenades unless it says consumable. Blast markers, critical effects, cumbersome means you gotta use 2 hands, stuff like that. Fear makes it hard to hit stuff. Like I said, I don't think I need to go through all these. Generally, most keywords affect certain models in certain ways, and then there's usually pieces of gear. Like, hey, shrapnel really hurts because it gets extra blood markers. Like, okay, let's see, yeah, so you get a bonus blood marker for shrapnel, because, you know, shrapnel will make you bleed. Helmets prevent shrapnel, so that's a thing you can buy for your dudes. So that is an option. Let's go ahead and yep. We're going to show you how to build a warband now. Now, before I go too far, there is an incredibly handy thing that I need to show all of you, and it is the cropping might be jank. Hey, there we go. Trench Compendium. I'm gonna give you all links to this. Now, this is not made by the official people. This is a fan project. However, it is generally endorsed by them. I would not be surprised if this gets folded proper into there. This is like the Battle Scribe equivalent for Trench Crusade. It's really nice. So like you could go to like Warband Builder. You can choose the factions, including all of the variants. You guys can't see the drop-down menu, but I'm going to say, let's say I want to do Cult of the Black Grail. It'd be like, oh, how you doing, Chieftain? Welcome. How you doing? I'm showing off how to use the Trench Crusade Trench Compendium Builder. It's very, very nice. You do create, and it's pretty flexible. So like you can add a warrior. I'm just going to add, in this example, I'm going to fly through this just to generally show you. There's one thing that always trips me up about this. So I'm going to say Herald of Beelzebub, which is the fly dude. So add the fly dude. So it adds it to your roster, and you can like name it and promote it and stuff like that. However, if you want to equip it, you hit this button, which my brain would not associate that as like customized, but you would click that. and then you can click equip, and hey, you can begin to give it weapons and stuff, and it's got all the costs there. You can, once again, you can't see the list. It will be here, I swears. So we're gonna give, like, I could give it a rifle, and the rifle's on there, and it keeps access to the stats, which is very, really handy. And you can print out a list. You can basically print out your list that way. So that is a useful tool. I would strongly recommend using that. You don't need to if you just like also a burrito. Have yourself a good night and take it easy. Yo. If you like to do it the old-fashioned way with like pen and paper or like just like a notepad, you know, whatever floats your boat. I do think if you have access to like if you have access to a computer, I do think it would behoove you to. But yeah, I'm gonna hide that for now because we're just gonna go generally through the book. Let's go. So, yep. You typically, if you're doing a campaign, you have 700 ducats. If you're doing a, they basically say like, yo, if you don't want to do a campaign and you just want to do like a big old like, we're heading to the shop and we just want to throw down with a reasonably sized army, you get 900 ducats. And 5 glory, I believe. Glory is a resource you get when playing campaign missions, and that's like the super cool hella elite gear. How you doing, Hermit? Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's so good, isn't it? It's really good. Once again, strong recommend to do this. The way you gear up your dudes is you can give them. So basically, this is like the pretty standard limit. So you get 1 2-handed range weapon or up to 2 1-handed range weapons, and then you either get 1 2-handed melee weapon or up to 2 single-handed melee weapons. You can dual wield. You can attack with both weapons, but there's like a penalty thing you get. We'd have to go back to find that, but that's not super duper important. Let's go. So yeah, we're gonna be going. Oh yeah, pretty standard. Name, movements in inches. You know, pretty standard. Range and melee show you how many bonus or penalty dice you get to attacking. Armor is how much you subtract from stuff. Base size is the size of the base. Abilities and the keywords kind of make sense. I don't think that's super hard to figure out. And equipment just shows you what equipment you can get. So yeah. So we're going to be going into the factions. All right. So this will be me explaining what the faction does. Like what kind of, we're just gonna go through the models. I'm not gonna read all the lore. I'll give you the bite-sized summary of this. Once again, if you would like to get a copy of this for yourself, it is just on their website for free. So I would recommend doing it that way. I would recommend doing it. All right, so let's go. Heretic Legion. These are the mortal followers of Hell. They generally, so Hell in this setting controls a decent amount of territory. They have really strong naval access, and they have like a pretty sizable portion of quite a lot of stuff. Read the lore. The lore is very fun, Potty. How you doing? There is a timeline that does mention the church space program. I think the lore would be easier to digest on your own. I imagine a lot of people are interested in like how to play and like, yo, funny VTuber man, give me the TLDR, which is what I'm doing for today. That is sort of my focus for tonight. The lore is really cool, but yeah, I'm definitely going to do Cliff's notes. So yeah, these are the mortal followers of Hell. Being in Hell-controlled territory sucks real bad. You're basically, yeah, also what Terry's saying, where it's like 1/3 of humanity has been enslaved. You're basically just chattel. Like you're chattel slave, or you're there to be sacrificed or used for a ritual or just whipped for fun. It's not good to be a human in Hell territory. However, if you manage to like go, the way you become a Heretic Legion dude at base is you walk into Hell, and if you can at least look at the gates, I believe, you can become a Heretic Trooper. So you're doing pretty aight. If you go farther to the Lake of Fire, you become an Anointed, which we'll show off later. And like that gives you some degree of like upward mobility and like respect. You're not gonna have a grand old time, but like it's better than other stuff. So like, I think that's kind of thing, like in a setting where God basically objectively exists. Like, why would you work for Hell? And the answer usually is that you were kind of pressed into it. It's either you're born into it or you're press ganged into it. It's not great. It's not great. If you spank the devil, you get 1 wish. 1. Trying to do the fucking Donkey Kong thing. So how you doing, Sarah Bersoni? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, the thing is, I love, so there's one lore bit which is I mentioned, and it's super. It just says in 1899, the church started their space program. No elaboration, no follow up. It's like a little point of humor. It's very silly. I don't mind it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, honestly, same. Yeah, Chieftain, I get it. Yeah, it's generally it's still not good. It's still not too good to be an L. But yeah, oh yeah, they also are hella burn too. But yeah, that's generally the Heretic Legion stuff. So we're gonna be Heretic Legion is sort of the Swiss Army knife of hell. How's how you doing, Pebble? Welcome. What's going on? It's also time to remove my various pets and whatnot. I'm not a cat boy. I'm a shapeshifter, so I got the ready. No, they're not going to be like fatal with a purpose. No, fatal's bad and not even a fun way. It's just, I mean, it's okay. It's fun to make fun of fatal, but it's not particularly creative. It's awful. It's just awful overall. But yeah. The Heretic Legion's reasonably flexible. This is the Hell faction with the most ranged, because otherwise Hell factions generally don't. Like you can kind of see, you get the fucking anti-material rifles, heavy flamethrowers, stuff like that. You also have some flexibility between going in melee as well, which I'll go ahead and show. But yeah, this is like the most vanilla of the. There's 3 Hell factions, 2 Christian factions, and the Islam faction, which effectively, you know, part of the Abrahamic God Squad. So they're in the. There's been some like, well, actually, there's no good guys in Trench Crusade, and I hate that. The internet has poisoned some people to think that if a good collective does something morally apprehensive, that clearly they're just as bad as the literal, like, there are markets of meat in hell where you buy like severed human flesh. Like, I cannot stress this enough. The church does some real fucked up shit in Trench Crusade, but they are absolutely the good guys. I'm sorry. I understand wanting to be subversive and whatnot, but I have to really explain that they're you could still live a normal life in New Antioch. You could live a normal life in New Antioch as like a baker. Now you're probably going to be baking a lot of bread for the war effort, but still. I play like irredeemably bad factions. That's fine. It's fine. We don't have to be like, well, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Like, you don't have to go quite that far. It's fine. It's fine. It's just really, I think Trench Crusade, I love this game to pieces, and it's not the game's fault. It's getting a lot of culture war, like battleground spillage from Warhammer. It's gotten a lot of overflow where people are doing the whole like, who's the good guys, the Space Marines or this heckin' Chungus orc? And it's like, oh God. People are just bringing that over here, so it's yeah, a lot of it's that. Heretic Legion does have some cool. I also will show off some. I don't have a model for every faction, but I have a couple ready to party. How are you doing, Quay? How you doing? Welcome. Yeah, you like once again, we're gonna get back to it. Also, each faction will have. There's like this is a little confusing. There is a list of like all the gear your guys can equip. And some of this is really generic. Like trench knife, everyone can use a trench knife. However, the actual stats for trench knives are not in this section of the book. They're in the back. It's a little awkward. You might want to print off a list of gear separately, or what's it called? You can either you could either print the gear separately, or like if you use Trench Builder, a Trench Compendium, it will have the list of stuff. So yeah, you got some special knives. Also, Galsariad? Galsariad. Gal, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the workshop. Welcome. Tyranids are the only good guys. No, clearly the only good guys are the word bearers. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. They just want what's best for everyone. Objective fact. Anyway. Also, once again, real banging art. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you like my stream. Thank you. We are just starting going over the faction breakthrough of Trench Crusade. I did a kind of really quickie show and tell of the rules previously. if you would like to see those, I do have a YouTube VOD that will be live once the stream's done because I'm multi-streaming because, yeah, technology is fun. Yeah, we're going to go through the stuff. So this is what I'm talking about where, like, every faction will have, like, the leader. There's a mandatory one. We have to have at least one heretic priest, and they're like your dude. They're worth it, though. There's really not a good reason why you wouldn't. Like, 80 ducats takes, like, about, I don't know, kind of in the ballpark of maybe, like, a little more than a tenth of your army by itself, but, like, for context, the range +2 and the melee +2 means this guy's incredibly accurate in both melee and ranged. You have full access to the armory. He has a risky action that you can use to move your opponent's units, which is really fun because if they're, like, sniping from a rooftop, you can literally use Puppet Master to make them walk off a roof. There is falling damage in Trench Crusade. You can absolutely, like, fall off of a roof and fucking break your legs, which is fun. Yeah, Mike Franchina, people might have seen his art around before. He's done stuff for, like, Diablo, Magic the Gathering. A lot of this stuff has existed as art he has done just willy-nilly and is now coalesced into a game. So yeah, typically every army section will start off with a Heretic Priest. Sorry, to start with a leader, then they'll show your elites. Like the Death Commando is your sort of like forward movement stealth guy. Hard to hit with all attack rolls. I also love this. Silent killers equipped with stealth generators that hide them from the eyes of God. That might just be like Satan propaganda, but I just love that line. It's very, very good. Giant white bug, he did. Ooh. Oh yeah, so there are a couple of factions that they've talked about, that have been talked about in the lore that's been scattered, but do not have like in-game rules yet. Because they wanted to start with the 6. I think they were expecting the Kickstarter to go well. I don't think they were expecting the Kickstarter to go $3 million well. I think I have to assume that everybody was like, yo, we're going to get like maybe 100,000 and that will be pretty cool because then we could sell some books and we can get some models. Hell yeah, let's go. And then they got $3 million. Mind you, there will be Kickstarter fees, so I don't know exactly how much you get from Kickstarter after the thing goes through. They're still getting at least a couple, like maybe like 2 million and some change. That sounds about right. I don't know about tunnel collapsing. The funny thing is, like, because the system's very flexible and like it's campaign based, you could totally do a thing where it's like, yo, if you do like a risky action, you could maybe try collapsing a tunnel, but if you fail, your turn ends and maybe you take some damage. There's actually like a lot of fun, like little roleplay scenarios you could do with just the action system. You do an action, you get as many actions as you want. Pull a lever if it's nearby. How you doing, Geeky Ghost? How you doing? I'm showing off Trench Crusade stuff. Let's go. Oh yeah, like this motherfucker with a silence gun is wild too. Yeah, they're pretty cool. You get the Chorister, which is a guy who kills himself to spit in the face of God. Not good at range, but he's basically got some like he's a good debuff piece. Good debuff piece. Then you got your boy, the default Heretic Trooper. Like, the thing is to remember too, there's the cost, but this is usually they don't come with gear unless it mentions it. So this is your rank and file guy, tactical baby. You do have to pay for. You do have to pay for the tactical baby, but you can get one, yes. Stuff like that. There are combat engineers, yeah. Yeah. We will. Hell does not have those. I will get to those later. Do not worry. Then you got the anointed. You got the big boys, who are the guys with the heavy armor, and they got the big shoots. These are the guys who like look in. I think they basically, yeah. You can see they're like burnt as shit. They go into the lake of fire and they come out with super duper strong. So how you doing, Ruin Web? How you doing? Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think the weird implication that I have heard, don't quote me on this, is that it's I think it's just a general idea that God is so strong that like his direct intervention is bad. Like, this is dubiously canon because a lot of the lore from this is brought back from like old Patreon posts and stuff on his like ArtStation. Yeah, Mike has mentioned angels, but every time an angel shows up, everybody goes batshit crazy, and it is like functionally a nuke. I think it's like, imagine you are trying to like, let's say that you see 2 colonies of ants like fighting, and you reach down to try to do something about that, you're probably going to just like knock over the ant colony. It's not going to be great. Everyone's going to be like, what the fuck? But yeah, I do actually have one of these guys painted. Here, I won't have a model painted for all of these, but I have like a couple. I have a couple. This is my anointed. Hey, the lad. He was meant to be a... Actually, hold on. What happens if I mediums? Okay, that generally works. He was basically made to be like a little test on how quickly... Hey, if you want to really quickly put together a Heretic Legion, paint your model red, dry brush metal, pick out some other colors, like he's got like gray cloth, wash it in winter streaking grime, and then like use some mineral spirits and a Q-tip to remove excess. This got done real quick. I think you could bash out like a really solid looking Hell Legionnaire army super duper quick. Oh, thank you. These are 3D printed parts. Some of these are bestiarum, like the head and the body and the shoulder pads. The gun and the arms are from good old Sir Nicholas, friend to the channel. Very nice guy. So yeah, I will also show you guys generally how you get models for these. Let's see. Once you be able to enter. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Also, there's sort of like a weird like pact between angels and demons that, like, you know, full-blooded demons and full-blooded angels should not enter because the other will go in and like really escalate this. But so everyone's sort of using proxies and stuff. Yeah, effectively an angel is sort of like an Ark of the Covenant explosion sort of deal. But yeah, so yeah, there's the anointed. There is the Warwolf Assault Beast, which is the boy. Effectively, every faction other than New Antioch has the big monster model. New Antioch doesn't have that because they rely more on like teamwork and fire teams. But yeah, this is the werewolf made in a hell factory. I do have one of these as well. This is also made by the wonderful Sir Nicholas. Well, the kit was. I did this myself. There we go. The boy. You guys probably saw me paint this on stream. Maybe like before the Kickstarter. Like I said, I've been interested in this game. I was part of the original Kickstarter. Like I really want to emphasize how long I've been excited about this game. This is before the game was a game. So way back when, Mike did a Kickstarter where the idea was like, yo, I just want to make some minis. I just want to make some minis for my cool OC Do Not Steal setting. And then about halfway through the Kickstarter, they're like, let's just make this a game. And they got Tuomas from like the Mordheim crew. John Blanche is getting involved. Basically, like they got like the old Games Workshop dream team and a couple of other like really cool people together. But yeah, no, I've been excited about this for a while. I've played the great. Also, how you doing? How you doing, Kawa? Yeah, I did go through some of the combat rules and stuff earlier. Don't worry, I'm sure. Yeah, Blanche came out of retirement. He's gonna do some art for the finished book, which is going to be rad. I do like New Antioch is really sweet, to be fair. I'm a gross horror man at the end of the day, but I do like New Antioch. I effectively will have a faction for everything. Oh yeah, you can totally buy relics, all kinds of shit. There's a lot. This game is very much, the units are bare with like an ability or two, and then you load it up with gear, which is where the real meat comes from. How you doing, Meister Miller? For people who are coming in later, I will probably maybe go back and do a combat example after all said and done. So do not worry if you missed it. Worst case, we could just go back into the VOD. Like it will be in the VOD later. So you can buy the Pathos New Antioch. Yeah, either way, it's not too bad. How you doing, Ezekiel? How you doing? Yeah, it's true. Hero Forge is an option. I've seen basically people fully recreate the range in Hero Forge, and the Trench Crusade people basically like. They did, I don't say the word based a lot, so I want you to know how much I mean for this. They did a thing, they're like, our goal was to make cool minis, and if you think the minis are cool, you'll just buy them from us. And I was like, I like that ethos a lot. I like that ethos a lot. But yeah, oh yeah, the Heretic Navy does seem pretty sick. I was thinking about them as well. I didn't get a war with a Kickstarter, and I have no idea where to give it. Basically, I think really there's a lot of different manufacturers of werewolves in general. I think what you could do is just take a werewolf model. Actually, if you want like a really cheap werewolf that's roughly that size, War Machine, the old Circle Ouroboros, has a bunch of werewolves that are roughly the same size. I think if you take those and just like, maybe just add some like blades to it, just take some like little plastic card sheets and just kind of hammer it in there, I think you can make that work. I think you got options. I'll also show generally where to get some models for these without Kickstarter. So we'll go with that later though. The Warples, yeah, exactly. You can get those pretty cheap. Also, yeah, we will bring it up War Games Atlantic a couple of times because they are legitimately a very good source of models for this. And then almost the mascot of the game, the fucking artillery witches. Their special thing is you throw a bomb, you just choose a spot on the map. So I actually can show off this. I do have an artillery witch, which I finished on stream the other day. So here we go. Here's my artillery witch. I went for like a flesh coat sort of thingy. I doing stuff. I'm showing off Trench Crusade, how to build a faction for it. I showed the rules earlier, stuff like that. It's a general how to play this funny little game. Yeah, they are the there's a decent amount of memes that have been done for this, and it's actually like they're not too bad. I'm not annoyed by them. They're pretty reasonable. But yeah, what's it called? Artillery witches are fun because let's go back to here. So basically what you do is, let's say my artillery witch is, for some reason my artillery witch is just gonna be really close, but you got like 36 inches, which is typically, these are, I have not only heard about this game, I have been keenly excited for this game for like years. When did the original Kickstarter go out? Like the early one. Hold on. I feel like I have like one other Kickstarter I'm waiting for. Oh yeah, there was the Neopets. There's a Neopets tabletop RPG which I did kickstart because I know people that will like be really, really excited about that. The original version of this was done in I did the pledge late. I think I want to say like 2022, I think. 2022? That sounds about right. Like streamer. Let's go. Conquest does seem pretty legit. Conquest, I would like to do Spires someday. I can't keep getting into war games. There has to be a cutoff point with me, and maybe, I don't know, that might change, who knows. But yeah, you basically just choose a spot, you see if you succeed, so roll 2d6, hope you get a 7. Okay, if you miss, basically your opponent, you roll deviation dice, so it's effectively, I think it's like an inch, let's see, multiply, 1 inch away, multiply the difference in degree of failure. So we failed by 2, so you just put the bomb 2 inches away, and then your opponent chooses where it goes. So you can deviate into your own stuff if you're shooting in a melee. Otherwise, you basically roll, I believe, like 3d6, and just that's the injury. They're real spicy. They're real fun. Yeah, Spire does seem really nice. I do conceptually really like the Spire. There we go. The artillery witches are cool. Then you got the Wretched, which are the horrible beat-up dudes. These guys are shit. They're basically made to be incredibly cheap objective runners. This is very much a game where like a lot of the objectives would be like control a building. And actually, this is also a feature I really, really like. So I'm just going to hide the PDF. There might be a thing you designate a building and you just have to touch it to control it. So you don't have to be like, oh, let's hang around like an objective marker. You could be like, okay, someone's got to hold this building. So you just got to go inside of it and you're holding on to the building. Having cheap models is really good for that. That's why you don't need to go super elite, because you don't want your elite guy to sit in the back. You don't want the elite guy to sit in the back and do nothing because you're wasting their stuff unless they got like a bitchin' range weapon. But you can take a unit like a Wretched, which are cheap as shit, and do it that way. I've also painted some Wretched too. I painted some of those. Let me get my example. This is also like how shows. I like these. I like these. There we go. Here's mine. I did a fat droopy guy. This is from Bestiarum. If you have access to a 3D printer, honestly, Bestiarum basically gets the aesthetic of Trench Crusade pretty well. We gotta add reject survival. Oh, I mean, there's a lot of like survival horror influence on this. 100%. 100%. Yeah, Conquest does seem neat. The thing is, I am very easy to get hyped for a war game, which I think it's just because I like games. I like tabletop games a lot. So like, I have to watch myself. That's true. Do you have blood magic? I know at some point there is going to be a Heretic Legion variant warband where you can do goetic magic. I'll get into magic a bit more in third. Yes, I'll get into goetic magic a bit more when we get to the court, which is like the closest to having full demon. I BattleTech settings seems neat. I own some battle mechs from like various things. I got the 2 starter boxes, and I also got a couple misplaced mechs that were just given to me by a relative. I have not really painted them yet because I hate the default plastic that they come in. They're just not very fun to hobby with. But conceptually, I'm like, yeah, there we go. House Karita's. Yeah, let's go. Once again, everybody's like, wow, Hal likes the douchebag faction. What a surprise. Hey, they're also douchebag samurais, which is really fun. But yeah, the Wretched are, like, you can see, they have a base penalty to ranged and melee. But in the Heretic Legion, when they die, you get a... Oh yeah, blessing markers are effectively like opposite blood markers. You can spend them to get bonus rolls. Create a tabletop game to existence. Oh god. I don't know, actually. The thing is, like, I've had ideas for how I would go about doing a game. Like, I think it would be, like, D10 based. I would use a lot of systems from Relic Blade, where your model is all on the card, but a lot of it is putting upgrades on the model to modify it. I like skirmish games. I like the activation dice of Saga and Warcry. I feel like my ideal game would be mushing together parts from other games I really, really enjoy. Oh yeah, Law of Hell is such a fun ability. So elite models are like ones that have the elite keyword. They're like the big dick units. If these guys kill one, which is very rare but could happen, they get set free because it's in honor of the first rebellion. Mind you, they don't explain what happens when you get set free, and at that point you're so like horribly mutilated and mind broken and filled with drugs that you're probably just going to go wander out into the wastes and die. But hey, you're free. Also, I'm not going to get super deep into these, but every warband typically has variants. Variants are really neat in that you trade some restrictions for cool powers. So let's say the Heretic Naval Raiding Party, because Hell has a really bitchin' navy. They have Hell invented submarines before the worshippers of the Lord did. So yeah, they get bonus dice to dashing. They can buy submachine guns, which usually those you can only buy them with glory. However, you are limited in your anointed, which are like the heavy armor dudes, and you can only have 1 artillery witch. You cannot have a werewolf, and you can get infiltrator, which I believe is like like a forward deploy sort of thing. It's one of those you deploy early abilities. But yeah, there we go. Yeah, health actions are fun. So you got those. A lot of people like trench ghosts. Basically you become incredibly sturdy and you get like fear. You can move through difficult and dangerous terrain. The tricky thing is that you're limited. You can't have a werewolf and artillery witch, and you're slow. All your stuff had penalty dice on dash. It sucks to be slow. Fuck off AI thing. But hey, they're really, really neat because they're sturdy as shit and like they don't get slowed down by things. Can they move through objects? Okay, they can't move through objects, but yeah, so they're pretty popular variants. So yeah. Oh, and the Knights of Avarice, which I enjoy greatly. So eventually all the health actions are going to have like effectively patrons that are based on the 7 deadly sins. This is sort of like an earlier one for Mammon, the Prince of Greed. Your guys can't be cheap. There's literally you cannot have a model that costs less than 80 except for wretches because they're not considered like troops, they're considered property. But you can also get like weapons from other factions. They're really neat. I would like to build them actually. Here's the thing. I need to show you what their example art looks like. They also get sometimes the bonus, the variant factions get special gear too. Oh, honestly, a Hell submarine board would be rad as shit. I have to see what it would take to build that. I know ways to do like that kind of stuff. And I'm sure getting some like model submarines wouldn't be too big of an ask. It would just be really, really weird for like how to. I guess you could have like a lot of like buoys and debris and stuff. But yeah, look at this motherfucker. Look at this guy. He's got the drip. He's got 2 censures, fucking like blind mask leaking. Got that. Oh, he is tricked the fuck out. Shadow Wizard Money Gang indeed. All right. So before we get to them, I want to give some examples of like, why does the dude because he's too cool. He's too cool not to have shades. Oh yeah. Oh, an Arctic board would actually be pretty legit, actually. Yeah. Funny you should mention that until I fully expect that there are going to be people using Trench Crusade bits for Warhammer and vice versa. I'm not surprised. I'm probably going to do it. I play word bearers. A lot of the hell stuff works really well with word bearers. So, hey, if you have no interest in the game, it's still, you buy some bits, support the guys. It'll be fun. It'll be fun anyway. Don't worry. You'll have the coolest Warhams at the Warham store. How would you buy Heretic Legion stuff? If you, I'm going to use the example of you do not have access to a 3D printer, and you are not going to get anything from the Kickstarter. Now, having a 3D printer does make... If you like indie war games, I strongly recommend getting a 3D printer, but I'm going to give you some ways out. I'm going to get you some ways out. You got some options. One of them, what Terry Davis is saying, there are ways... some people kind of accuse us of being a Warhammer ripoff, but Warhammer steals from literally everything, and they both have like kind of like overcharged Catholic roots in a lot of things. So you can get some overlap. So yeah, you could use some cultist. Warcry warbands would actually be really, really sick for this. Let me see if I can think of like let's see. I don't think what was the Warcry warband. There was one that it's like the Warcry no skin. Which ones are those? The Unmade. Okay, the Unmade I think would actually be really bitchin'. The tricky thing about Warhammer stuff is that a lot of Warhammer armies, 40k is going to be harder for this. The foundations will be there. You will have a lot of Imperial iconography to scrape off. I agree, Snowfall, but I do want to throw that out because, like, I will suggest... I feel I'd be remiss if I didn't suggest some Warhammer alternatives because Warhammer models are easy to get. They absolutely are. If you go to a game store, you will find them. But yeah, check out these. These are from Warcry. These are the Unmade. They are people that remove the skin from their own face because they think it's fun. You could get some of these and then get some guns, and I think you're going to have a fun time. I think a lot of Warcry warbands would be a better basis for Heretic Legions than cultists, but those cultists would also work. Another option for Heretic Legions that I am going to recommend in addition to New Antioch is War Games Atlantic has a bundle for $90 where you get a couple of boxes of various World War I infantry. Forbidden Psalm is a sort of another weird War I war game. Say that 10 times fast. Yeah. So you get a bunch of different dudes from different countries. And honestly, take those, give them some different helmets, go to Etsy or like go find some historical knight helmets. Get some funky little crosses. That will get you there. You can also just buy like a German infantry box or a French infantry box, or, you can get those individually. I think this is like a nice, effective, like if you and a friend go halvesies, that's like a 45 2-player starter, and you get some tokens in a fun game. Forbidden Psalm can also be played solo. I think Trench Crusade's going to get some solo rules, but yeah. Complaints about steel. Yeah, I mean, true. Warhammer steals like a motherfucker, but listen, I don't hate Warhammer. It's fun. I paint Warhammer models too. I enjoy it. There's a lot of people who are Warhammer fans who are like very aggressive and not very bright. So I throw that out there. A lot of you guys are pretty cool. Yeah, so you could do that too. Sometimes. That's the thing. At the end of the day, this is a very kit bash friendly game. Do whatever you want as long as your local group is cool with it. Like that's really about it. I think a lot of people are going to be doing Krieg too. Krieg would be like a solid option. You could buy the Krieg kill team, but that's gonna be like $70. But you could. You might have the Krieg kill team sit around your house. Some people probably do. Yeah, and then you got like Blizzard and stuff like that. Yeah, we will be bringing up some of the other games that land at kits as well, because they do got some good options. They do got some good options. Also, Etsy is a good choice for a lot of things. If you don't have access to a 3D printer, a lot of people do sell 3D prints on Etsy. Those are going to be very, very affordable options in general. And because you only need maybe, like I said, 6 to 10, depending on how heavy you go, Etsy will be a very cost-effective way. Where do people meet up for war games? It depends. I play at my local shop. Not everyone's a local shop. In theory, I don't think I have any VC set up in the... I thought I did, but I don't know. There, you could ask around my Discord to see if any people are down for playing games. I am ungodly busy, so I will not be available for gameplay, if I'm going to be honest. But another option, the Trench Crusade does have an official Discord as well, and I think people get like a tabletop sim games. So, also, yeah, some like Hashtastic said, some LGSs do have 3D printers. Not all of them. Also, some towns will have maker spaces, which you can rent out for 3D printers and stuff. So you got some options. You got some options. But anyway, let's move on to Trench Pilgrims. Trench Pilgrims are people who have gotten visions from God, and they form wild and wacky, kind of like roving bands of lunatics and madmen. That's redundant. Lunatics, prophets, people who are sinners trying to repent. Because, like, you know, demons are real. They're out there. And if you feel like an overwhelming guilt, or if you hear the voice from God, like, yo, you should actually go to the heretic owned territory and shoot them in the face, you're going to go do it. These people are not trained fighters. They're schlubs with guns, but they are filled with the love of the Lord. And they actually do have some kind of wild gear. These are probably the more horde faction of the God armies. Hey, it's all good, Jay. Have yourself a good... Why did the blind man fell in the well? He couldn't see that well. Get out of here. Fucking get out of here. Have yourself a good night, Jay, and take it easy. I'll have a good night. Hello, Mittens. How you doing? I'm showing everyone Trench Crusade. Yeah. It's very cool. It's a very interesting game. I love this game. It's very fun. It's very, very fun. They also got a bunch of very specific cool gear. They got punt guns if you want a big gun that you either need to be super strong or have a team to fire. Molotov cocktails. They have fucking Ninja Star crosses, which is a very recent addition to the game. I think basically, so Trench Pilgrims and Heretic Legion were like the first two armies that they kind of have stats for. So I think they're getting a couple of little tweaks here and now and then. Oh yes, there is the anti-tank hammer, which you got for people. This is another Warhammer thing, but there's an orc weapon where they put a fucking bomb on the end of a hammer, and it does a lot of damage. You get extra injury dice, but if it does hit, you do take a blood marker, and it's risky. Oh, the punt guns are very fun too. Like it requires another team, or if you're strong. Strong is a very good keyword. I will say strong is a very, very good keyword. You basically ignore heavy. A lot of good weapons are heavy, and heavy stuff you can't move and shoot. But if you're strong, you can ignore that. And there's actually like a decent amount of strong dudes within Trench Pilgrims. So let's go over that. Also, these are the guys. I think the Trench Pilgrims really are the aesthetic of the game. New Antioch is I've seen New Antioch probably is more popular than them in my experience, because there's always people, and I don't mean this as a dig, there's a lot of people that like the baseline. They're like, oh, I just like the normal dudes. I just want like the normal dudes trying their best. New Antioch does that. These guys do not have that. These guys are the fucking lunatics. Yeah, because like that, yeah, you do get that diesel punk. So the tech levels are all over the place. A lot of people are still rocking swords and shields and heavy armor. You do got World War I stuff, and because there's the indirect intervention of heaven and hell, both sides have gear that they should not have access to. How you doing, Fake Off? Welcome. How you doing? I'm showing off Trench Crusade. Yeah. Showing off Trench Crusade. Let's go. So yes, this is the War Prophet. This is your default leader you have to bring. Once again, most of the default leaders pretty good at both strength and like melee and range. Like 2 dice on each is really, really good. We did go over artillery witches because Heretic Legions are first. I was showing off. I got mine. I got the one I did in the corner. Hey, there we go. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the car situation is actually. They have shown tanks. People have been like, "Yo, where's the tank game? I'm gonna fight tanks," and I think that's coming in the future. That's coming. But yeah, you got the ability. You got a lot of buffs and ability to remove blood markers, stuff like that. The Castigator, he does that thing. He does the thing that's like kill your own dudes in order to succeed a morale check. Also, you can buy a lot of dudes have zealot strength. Fuck up. A lot of them will have zealot strength, which makes you strong, and strong means you can have big weapon. So you could give your Castigator the anti-tank hammer, which he can just wield without penalty, which is really spice. Oh yeah, there's some really cool tanks and stuff. There's one example which I've shown before. What's it called? Well, I think the only tank they've shown. I definitely have. There we go. It's this one. As far as I know, this is the only official tank, and it is. I believe it's a very Christian-y one, as you can tell by the fact they're burning a guy on the back. But yeah. Oh yeah. Also, too, the War Prophets do have like fucking megaphones and shit. I have a War Prophet technically. It's my Turnip 28 cult guy. It's the boy. Like I have him, and then also like because like I said, I did the very like culty turnip things, so I'm using them as my Trench Pilgrims. I'm very big on multi-classing, using models for multiple war games. So a lot of my turnip stuff has overlap with Trench Crusade. Now, will I eventually do my own unique? I've done a couple unique dudes for this game, but I'm doing like this. Yeah, but yeah. I figured this gives me access to a lot more models I can play with, which is fun. Let's go. I do not have a Castigator. Communicants I do have though. This is the monster. So it's actually interesting that you have 2 monstrous units for for Trench Pilgrims. I do have one. Oh, the lad. Hey, all right. Yeah. Technically, it's because they don't want you to use a gun on this guy, because like being strong means that he could wield a big gun, but they don't want you to do that. Also, I should explain tough. This is how the units that are super big and burly don't fucking die. Tough basically gives you a free death. Like if you would die, you just get knocked down, and then if they kill you again, you're out. So like even super elite models can still get taken down by chumpos. It's just harder. Especially because this one regenerates health and can take bullets for nearby dudes. Very, very fun model. And here's mine. Yeah. And this guy was originally... This is a model I rescued from my pile of shame and did some conversions. So he is a goopy regenerating boy, and I love him. I love him. What a nice lad. He looks so good next to the turnip stuff too. I did him in the same colors as well, so I could be like, yo, the squad is here. But yeah. Oh yeah, I imagine yeah. For big guys like ogres, ogrin, you know. What? Oh, I did it wrong. There we go. Basically, if it's a big boy, hammer some crosses into it, you'll get that. Yeah, yeah, Steve, exactly. I love. It's once again, it's hey, if you're like I don't like my painting. I strongly recommend you continuing to paint multiple models, because the more painted models you put together, the better they look. They really, really do. Hold on, let me just also too. Let me just like really show it out. So like these got like so. Oh God, hold on. I should really remove all the side detritus stuff. Hold on. Let me do that, because I've been using this side as my like how to like show off shit. So it's like this guy, and it's like, ooh, like the artillery witch. Like they look pretty fine individually, but then like once you start like grouping them together, it's like, oh man, get that collective of like finished models, and chef's kiss. It really does a lot. Also, yeah, Streaking Grime's pretty good. I'm trying not to fall into that trap of crutching a heart on Streaking Grime, but for Trench Crusade, it has been very, very nice for me lately. So, who knows? But yeah, let's see. Let's go back to there. And then we got the boys, Trench Pilgrims. So their big thing is, besides being cheap, is when they die. So how you doing, Shadow? Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing? How you doing? So normally in this game, when you're doing a campaign, if a model dies, it's dead. I don't remember if you lose the gear on it. I think you do. But Trench Pilgrims have the ability to buy a dude back. Like, it's the same dude, but they just take less damage, and they have a harder time dying to the injury table stuff. And they also get a melee bonus. And then also you can buy Zealot Strength for one of them. So, yeah, let's go. And then the Ecclesiastic Prisoners, which are another like famous model. It's a non-believer or a guy who's like atoning for his sins. They strap a bomb to him. He sucks at fighting. But you can detonate this. And that's really fun. They're also cheap as shit. If you don't buy them the Martyrdom device, they're just $20, 20 ducats. And I think you would still probably be better off just getting a cheapo Trench Pilgrim, but you could use that just as like an objective runner. Oh yeah, after a match, yeah, exactly. It's very much like they die and then you roll on the table to see if they get like injuries and stuff like that. You know. Oh, Streaking Grime will work. Oh, hold on. There we go. Almost. Let's get my. Where's my thing? Where's my thing? There we go. Here we go. Hey, this is the Stigmatic Nun. So I will paint you a picture with words with the Stigmatic Nun. There we go. Let's get some chef's kiss. I do like. Yeah, there we go. There she is. I think I'm safe. I think I'm fine. Okay. My YouTube thing. The problem with Stigmatic Nuns. No, I actually really like Stigmatic Nuns. However, I don't think Twitch would be very kind. So, Stigmatic Nuns are really good. They have the ability to convert blood markers into blessing markers, so they're kind of hard to kill. They have agile, so they get bonus dice to like dashing and moving and stuff. They got eight like most things have a base 6-inch movement. She's got 8. And got some bonuses with range and melee. Now, the reason I'm showing this is because the default example of the Stigmatic Nun is a lady with a full-on helmet. Her shoulders and arms are covered in armor. And also her legs. She's got basically like armor thigh highs. She's dueling pistols. I think she's got a pistol and a sword, but the sword's cut off. She is tits out and covered in blood. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, yeah. It's really good art. Her tits are out. That's not the most lewd. There is a Heretic Berserker lady who is full on, like, I have a helmet, I have a sword, and she is wearing nothing else but ritual scarring. I can't show that either. I don't know if that one's making it to the book, but yeah. Also she's got them hips out too. So we're gonna scroll down. There are, I believe the official models will still have bonks out, but there are a lot of variants that don't, so don't feel too bad. If you're like, I like the idea, but I don't want tits. I get it. I understand. There are, don't worry, there are options. You got options. And then the Anchorite Shrine, which it's a big, she's tits out for the Heretic one that's also like pussy out. I don't know how to find her. Mike Franchina's, it's somewhere on his ArtStation profile. It's somewhere there. Her breasts are covered, but listen, I'm not going to risk it for Twitch. I'm not gonna. There's no reason to. So yeah, this is the Shrine Anchorite. It is the big monster the Trench Pilgrims. You can sacrifice a model to be a meat shield for it. Yeah, there we go. I'll post it on the YouTube site as well. Oh, yeah, there we go. So yeah, you can go bonks out and out, bonks out. I like that. I'm very much go like your choice. Did she shave? I haven't looked at her in a while. I'm not gonna look for that one right now. Yeah. But yeah, this is a big beefy boy. This is the Trench Pilgrim, full fuck your shit up unit, It's got a lot of armor. So for context, I should really emphasize -3 armor is the most armor you can get. The only way for this thing to die would be your opponent needs to have double 6s, because a 9 result will kill it. But it also does have tough, so when it dies once, it'll just get knocked down. Yeah. It's not exactly a dreadnought. There is a dude in there, but it's effectively like there's a guy being super tortured in there. He is tortured as shit and loving it. There's a lot of flagellation stuff going on with Trench Pilgrims, so there's a guy getting tortured on the wheel and a guy getting tortured inside, and also, you know, sacrificial lamb. Oh yeah, no, Trench Crusade fucks super hard. It's really, really neat. Yeah, kind of more like a penitent engine if you're going for a Warhammer example, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's just spiritual. It's weird. So, like, I know we literally just moved past a nun with tits out covered in blood. I don't know, it's weird for me to say that this is not a super sexual setting. Like, I kind of take that as, like, the kind of, like, the grimdark edginess of it. I don't know if anyone's especially jerking it. There is a lust, warband you can run for the demons, but they're not even particularly sexy either. Yeah, the guy inside might be getting a bone, but the setting does not mention it. He is, yeah, this guy's McLovin' it, you can tell. He's having fun. How you doing, Spork? I don't underestimate. People will jerk off to anything. I'm sure someone's shooting fat ropes just to the robot body. I mean, it's technically not a robot, but you know. But like, in the setting, I don't believe a lot of it is very... I'll say Spork like, how's it going, elf? And then I just say that sentence. But like, in this setting, it's not portrayed as like a real sexual thing. Yeah. Yeah. But, there's 2 variants to these. The variants are kind of not super interesting. Well, Cavalcade of the 10th Plague is kind of whatever. I do really like the Procession of the Sacred Affliction. Their big thing is you basically lower the amount of range you could do. You can give more of your dudes Zealot Strength so they get strong, so they can wield big weapons. This is the best part, everybody. The anti-tank hammers of this warband are not limited to elites. You can have 3 chumpos that you give all of them the strength upgrade, where they are nothing but a guy and a rocket hammer and a mission from God. I printed out a rocket hammer dude. I don't know when I'll get to paint him. He is definitely on the docket. If I would, so I have a very general purpose Trench Pilgrim army because of my turnip stuff. I would like to slowly morph into one. So they didn't do a flip. It's more like effectively these were back from an era where the sub factions were like little tweaks. A lot of those later on are very heavily like they will significantly change your army to the point where your game is like your faction can operate totally differently. I'm going to show you the Black Grail one at some point. You functionally have a different army. Like, there's little crossovers between a Black Grail and a Dirge Black Grail list later. How you doing, Pup Kobe? How you doing? Welcome. Yeah, exactly, Snow, exactly. Maybe, I wouldn't say degenerates as much in this instance, but yeah, it's you know, they're naked for cool reasons. That's how you doing, Aiden? Gamers, indeed. Okay, so also I love this RP. I love that this guy's just like, yeah, I should be dead. I'm not. Oh, so I'm basically explaining that on a model by model basis. My faction by faction basis, my bad. So other than the Kickstarter, I'm usually the thing, I'm gonna say you don't have access to the Kickstarter, you don't have access to a 3D printer. What would you do? Once again, cultist art models in general are pretty good. A lot of people are going to be like Warhammer cultist or Warhammer flagellants. I actually think these would be real great. These are Frostgrave cultists. You get which let me link these for you because I do have some links up for some stuff. These are about 22 euros. I don't know how much the shipping is, to be fair though. I think there's ways you can buy them in the States for not that much. Like 22 euros for how many dudes you get? Effectively 20 figures. This is from the game Frostgrave, which is like kind of similar to Mordheim-ish, but they're pretty cool. Grail Knights, like they are doing a proper knight faction. You could probably do something similar with New Antioch, honestly. But yeah, no, this would be a good base. You could get a Castigator. You could probably get a War Prophet if you decide to put some like extra gubbins on there, and you could get most of the Pilgrims. You could get most of those. You could get most of Warband. The Shrine Anchorite, you would need just to get like a big robot or a big statue. For Seventh Head Serpent, so I do a lot of let's see. There is a guide that I really like for some Seventh Head Serpent stuff. Let's I think it's like Tailskeeper. We'll get into them later. I will be going over to court, but there is a... There we go. This guy kind of does sort of Warhammer X Beast stuff, but he has like a pretty good, like, horrible beast demon thing, which I can show off later. But yeah, I would say Frostgrave Cultist will give you the good. We'll give you a really, really good basis for a Trench Pilgrim army, and then season to taste with other models you can find. I am building a court warband. I actually will be showing... I'm not ready yet. I probably will be putting together a sorcerer for the court next week. I tried to glue it together before stream because I'm doing some very elaborate bullshit. There's really no angels. Anytime angels show up in the setting, they basically are too strong and they nuke the ever-loving fuck out of everything. The Iron Sultanate. Let's go. This is basically the forces of Islam. God gave them a big old iron wall that they sit behind and effectively has let them like develop a civilization. Like what I mean by that is like, because they have a fuck off giant wall, they're less needing to deal with like heretics besieging them directly. They come and then they get shot. But otherwise they're chilling. They're sort of like they're a similar sort of dealio to New Antioch, where they're sort of like a bastion of civilization in the setting. They have some really banging variants. This is what I'm talking about, where like factions that were sort of finished later have variants that like really flip their shit up. This is going to be tricky because I don't have any Sultanate models. I will be once the Kickstarter's done, and I have some ideas. I actually really liked the House of Wisdom variants for Sultanate, which I'll go over. But I do also have maybe a couple of suggestions for what to do in the meantime. These, I will fully admit, are going to be hard to find. You're going to have to dig a little bit, but I'll get you. I'll get you covered. So yeah, this is the bastion of Islam. They hide behind. I say hide, but like they have a gigantic fuck off wall that protects them, and that lets them sort of like do their own thing, build forces. They still fight the like demons and stuff. They do have alchemists. Playstyle wise, previously I had a hard time explaining the Sultanate playstyle, but today, after getting some games in and looking over their stuff, here's basically what I could say. Sultanate's big thing is like they don't have the strongest guns, but they have a lot of range. Like a lot of their guns have good range. They have a lot of like, sorry, they have a lot of Giselles with really, really good range. They have a lot of movement shenanigans. They have dudes that can booby trap terrain. They have a lot of movement and denial. Not that they don't have strong stuff. Like I sneeze very cutely. The thing is, this is gonna sound weird. The sneeze is an effect. Like I have two sneezes. If I can catch a sneeze, I can divert it to a cute sneeze. If I don't, I basically just like, ah! And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So I tried to like sneeze, stifle it, and it makes it a cute sneeze. But yeah, they do have strong things that do damage. But I'd say overall they're very much board control and movement shenanigan. But yeah, we're gonna go through their stuff. Yeah, they have a lot of gear that can only be wielded by the Brazen Bull, which I will show you early. Well, I'll show you later. And they also have a lot of assassin things. So we'll go through the dudes. So yeah, hey, speaking of, hold on. I need to. I'm going to need to pull out the. I can't show it. There is one other example of tits, and it's in this faction of all things. This is probably a bit much. Let me see. Is that yeah? So basically you have super trained dudes, you have alchemists, and the alchemists have their like. Let me hide this little area. I can do that right now. They have a lot of homunculi and just like artificial creatures. Some of the artificial creatures realize that their existence and they're not doing a good time. Other ones just don't give a shit. So, let's see. Let's find this. So this is the oh god. Out of all of the factions, I'm going to have the hardest time pronouncing anything from them. So, people who know what they're talking about, I'm sorry in advance. So yes, the Yuzbazi captain is really cool. He does have a shoulder alchemical harpy on his example model that does have tits. Why not? Cool. I'm gonna just hide that right now. You know, I don't know if you would jerk it to this harpy. She's got like a pretty big like bulb patch, but whatever, you know. Yeah, pretty, you know, usual leader unit, strong armor, good shoot, good melee. Then you got the alchemist, which are, I think I can hide that now, which is what you saw earlier. Alchemists are good at range and they can change their element, which is really cool because like shrapnel, fire, and gas all have a bunch of really cool abilities. So those are pretty fun. They're not pussy out. They're not pussy out. I have this kid's snow golem. I'd have to look at that. If it ain't Poppy, I don't want it. Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, and then probably the most iconic. There's 6 factions, and each of them have like 2 or more variants. That's like Sultanate has some really banging variant factions. We'll get to them later, but their variants are really good. The assassin is really cool. They're rad as shit. You can get up to 1. They're really good at melee. They can teleport. They can basically, like, if anything misses it, they teleport. And they can blink out of existence a couple of times. They're really, really cool. Oh, yeah, we're on the 3rd. We haven't done New Antioch, Court, and Black Grail. So, yeah, we're on the 3rd. We're on the 3rd. We still got a couple more to go. They're very, very nice. Otherwise, you got the Azebs. These are your typical chaff unit. As opposed to other chaff, they suck at melee. Usually the chaff are kind of like flat. These guys don't get melee. They're not going to do great. Then you got the sappers, which are the guys, they can legitimately booby trap an objective. So this isn't like Warhammer, where an objective is like a circle. I think you can do it that way, but overall, the way the game likes to do it is that they go, yo, that building, that's an objective. Be inside that building and you hold it. Sappers can mine the building, so if an enemy steps on it, they explode the mine. I don't think I would say they're Tau. Yeah, you can. I mean, you do get skirmisher though. You can get some stuff. You can get there's a lot of variants that gives you some shit. Like I said, this is like I would say they are very much the control faction. They have a lot of good movements, and they have a lot of range, and they have a lot of ability to fuck around with elements. They are they're not going to be as like murder damage as opposed to a lot of other ones. Maybe I don't know. It'd be a good analog for them. I don't know. Anyway. My G's business teleport makes me go, this breaks. Well, they are powered by God. So it's not like only the Christians get access to like God stuff. It's just that the Sultanate is doing a lot of like the Magic of Solomon kind of deal. Like they're going like real old school kind of stuff. I forget if it's like let's see. So yeah, there you go. Assassins are able to bend space and time using sacred rituals and powerful hallucinogenics discovered by the Magi of their order. So they're probably also like, hey, if you want the most magical god army as well, like they're not casting spells, but they're doing weird esoteric shit, which I enjoy. Also, once again, hey, they have the mutant freaks that I really, really like. So the Lions of Jabir are very fast. You can't really equip them with much, but that's fine. They're sturdy, and they will maul the fuck out of you. Maybe it's time to. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you use the alchemy beast just to get in there, or to use the brazen bull to do like artillery shit. You have your assassins and your azabs kind of go in there and like hold control points, stuff like that. And also janissaries are pretty solid. 55 strength. They got strong 55 ducats. Bonuses to range and melee. They get a bonus dice if they do a melee action after a charge. So pretty solid. And they're strong, so they can wield big weapon. So very, very, very just good universal unit. And then you got the Brazen Bull. The what's it called? Brazen Bulls are the monster unit of the Sultanate. And they fuck immensely hard. I love them. Look at the fucking drip on these guys. They are so strong that they can't use typical weapons. They got unique weapons that only they can use. Also, you know, tough and strong, and they have some sort of defensive bonus. Pretty standard bullshit. Most of their things comes with like the cool weapons and like the Murad Bombard and stuff like that. So Sultanate has two variants that are very interesting. As effectively because like Sultanate basically has like Janissary, like they basically got the core. You could probably use Stormcast. I'll go later into some examples. Stormcast could probably work actually. But yeah, so basically Sultanate kind of has like assassins and alchemists and then troops that kind of work for both. The two warbands are like, all right, let's cut off one side and focus on the other. The Cabal of Assassins, the Fidai of Almut. Once again, I'm gonna butcher the ever-loving fuck out of that, like super, super hard. I'm gonna butcher the ever-loving fuck out of that. That's fine. The big thing is, you basically trade away all of your janissaries, all the alchemist stuff, but you get 3 assassins, and you can use fire teams. Fire teams are really cool. When you activate a fire team, you activate both units. That is normally the advantage of the Sultanate. Not the Sultanate, the New Antioch. Their thing is just fire teams out the ass. And some other shit. But yeah. You get 3 assassins. One of your assassins gets really cool. You get a bunch of unique assassin stuff, like Hallucinogenic Disguise lets you infiltrate behind enemy lines, which is bananas. But yeah, you basically give up a lot of options just to really lean into assassins. And you got some really cool shit, like these like really banging, really banging knives and stuff like that. This bow has a 40-inch range, ignores armor, and when you hit a dude, you fucking teleport. Which is wild. That's some shit. And then you got the House of Wisdom, which is where you basically cut off a lot of the troops and assassins. And you get more alchemists. But the best part, here's the best part about the House of Wisdom. I love the House of Wisdom because you get, you get secrets. These are fine. I'm sure a lot of these are pretty good. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty on a lot of stuff. Like I said, there's a lot of gear in this game. I would spend the entire night. I'm sure somebody's going to do like a top 10, like, oh god, if I wanted to clickbait, just do a fucking like war gear tier rating list. War gear tier list, goddamn. But A, I wouldn't, and B, I don't think I have enough experience in the game to like really accurately judge shit. So there are people that do like real comp sweaty stuff in the Discord just because, you know, for playtesting reasons. I think every war game that is like, even if it's meant to be casual, you still want to have some sweat people on the dev side, so you can be like, that's too good, just nerf that shit. I believe they do train the assassins do. But anyway, the Talkwind creatures. Every alchemist gives you access to one of them, and it is build your own flesh freak, and I love this. So you get a baseline. The baseline, they're vanilla as shit. They're sturdy, and if they die, you can rebuild them, and that's not a big deal. However, you get to upgrade the fuck out of them. You can give them wings. You can make them big. You could give them fire team. You can make them strong so they can use big weapons, human hands so they can use guns, extra arms, extra heads, special eyes. You can make them gigantic. You can make them regenerate. This is like, you get so many options. Like, what I might do eventually is I'm going to build some alchemists and then some troops, and I'm just going to make a fuckload of the fucking Talkwind creatures. I'm just going to have a whole bunch because, you know, that'd be fun. You could get different variants. Yeah, you could build a dog one. The what's it called? The I think you can get there's like some variant that makes them go super. So yeah, Starling speed, you could do that. Maybe get some other shit to kind of go with that. You can make a dog one. I think also having like a big boy and then one with wings for scouting purposes would be really, really good. Yeah, you can affect Edward. I mean, you can't. Yeah, you could go nuts. You could also just basically recreate a brass bull. I don't know if it would be super worth it or not, but I'm sure there's some way you can make one even cooler than that. But yes, the lads. Okay, so where would you get models for this faction? Like I said, this is going to be pretty hard. Some options. World War One, if like, you know, if you could maybe find some like real like deep in the weeds World War One stuff, that would probably work. Also, guys, have yourself a good night. Take it easy. Yeah, the VOD will be up. I've also know there is a guy at my local shop that plays Sultanate, and he's been prepared for this. Yeah, War Games Atlantic Afghans would be a good choice. If you want to go a little more fantasy, what the guy at my store does is these like House Martell dudes from the Song of Fire and Ice war game. Like some of these, you just get some like STL. Like you basically just find some guns from some other models. You can get like some pretty solid dudes. Like I think you could run these guys as like Janissaries and have a pretty good time. But yeah, you got some couple of options. Really, anything with like a lot of armor that you could get a hold of some turbines too would also like help quite a bit. But yeah, that's probably the best. The actual like brazen bullen stuff you might want to do. Scorn actually might have so. Scorn is tricky in that, like, a lot of the infantry, maybe if they have helmets, because Scorn models are not human, so they got kind of, like, weird sunken faces and kind of pointy ears. If they're having helmets, maybe, the big thing for Scorn would be the War Beasts. Let me find something like, let's see, Scorn War Beasts. These Scorn War Beasts would actually be, like, really legitimate for, like, brass bulls. Scorn, oh yeah, there's, like, the Cannoneer, actually. See if I can find. Let me see if I can find lad. This guy. Let's go. Like you could use. Like, oh god, I hate WebP. I hate WebP. I hate WebP. I hate WebP. I actually think a lot of Scorn stuff is pretty cheap. And like, hey, there we go. This would be a solid brass bull. You could absolutely use this for a solid brass bull. The Assassin's big thing is like they teleport if you miss them with a shot, and they also can do a couple of other little teleport things. Basically, everybody, you can climb up the roofs and kind of move from rooftop to rooftop. Assassins are just super mobile. You could paint Trollbloods with human skin. I think that's probably more difficult than it needs to be, but yeah. Yeah, I would say overall, War Games Atlantic, like Afghan historicals, some kit bash, some gas masks, some corn stuff for the beasts. I think that will generally get you there. I mean, you could do jump attacks on roofs. I think really if you're doing roof stuff, you want to be shooting, though. Rooftop shooting's pretty legit. Yeah, so that will get you there. And then we got New Antioch. New Antioch is sort of like the bastion of civilized Christianity. They are the most baseline vanilla dudes. If you're like, I would like to play this game, but I want like normal guys trying their best against the forces of Satan, probably New Antioch. They don't got magic. They have some supernatural things, but not the most. Usually their supernatural things are off to the side, but they do have some. They are the human fighter with sword and shield, which is fine. I have a couple of New Antioch dudes as well, which I can show off. But yeah, their big thing is that they do have a lot of mechanized units, like honest to God machine armor, and they have a lot of guns. Do you want the most grenades? Do you want the most sniper rifles? Yeah, New Antioch's fucking got them. You got options. They also have default access to fire teams, so you can activate your dudes 2 at a time. Which activation advantage is really, really, really good. They're really good. Vanilla's the strong flavor. Some people like that, yeah. Like it's like there's nothing too bad. There's nothing like I said, I like them. But yeah, let's go. So you got the lieutenant. He is your must include dude. He's tough. He can on my command is really funny because you effectively choose your opponent what they're going to activate next, so you can kind of like catch them with their pants down and like make them activate in a very weird way. Then you got the Trench Cleric, which I have one of these. I was sent to Trench Cleric by the Trench Crusade crew. Oh, there we go. If anything, it's because I got sent the Trench Cleric that I am trying to build a Trench Crusade warband for them. But yeah, they got pretty good. You know, they got their elites, so they got elite ranged and melee. They can give blessing markers with risky actions for a reminder. To do a risky action, you have to roll the 2d6 and get a 7, and if you fail, your turn's over. So honestly, a lot of it would be like move, do your attacks, and then end your turn with God is with us. So you could just save the blessing marker for later, but you might need the blessing marker in advance, so you could totally do that. Yeah, let me show you my lads. Yeah, this is an official model that I was sent by Tuomas, which very, very nice guy. And I had a lot of fun painting him. I did. This is where one of those examples. Hey, if you guys want to do scripture, like little squiggles, Micron pens. Micron pens are super nice because you can just go like, blah, 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 just scribble on them. Get the smallest. I think it's like 0, like size. Yeah, Micron 003, that size. That size is really good. That size is really, really banging. Or tank. They also do want the tanks, yes. Yeah, I like the lad. A big fan of the lad. Yeah, let's go. There. Then you get Sniper Priest. Sniper Priest shoots. They can get some bonus dice to range attacks. The opponent can apply blood markers for range attacks against stuff they're doing. They're very, very nice shooters. They shoot good. You don't have to give them a sniper rifle, though. A lot of people yes, you could give them a sniper rifle. It is thematic. A lot of people give them machine guns. Machine guns, other factions have to, basically get them as campaign rewards. You can buy machine guns. You'll notice they're expensive. They get 3 shots, I believe, per round. They are blind, yes. They shoot entirely with the power of Christ. But yeah, you can give one a machine gun and some armor, and he will spray and pray with a fuckload of dice, which is really spicy. But you could also give one a sniper rifle and stick him on like a building in the back and just have him shoot for days. Then you got the Yeoman, which is your default. You have to give them a bolt action rifle by default. You can swap it out. You can also make some trench moles. I believe you can upgrade them. Trench moles get infiltrate, so they can start ahead. Yeah, machine guns are really powerful. Like, they are legitimately a reward for other factions. And new Antioch's like, psh, fine, you can, whatever. And you get shock troopers, which are just yeomen but melee. Like, they get bonus melee dice. They get 2d6 range for charging is actually really great. Oh yeah, charging, in addition to charging, you actually just get a d6. You roll your move and you add a d6. They get 2d6, which is actually really fucking wild, but whatever. And they can use a heavy weapon. They can ignore the heavy weapon on melee weapons, so they can wield a big fuck off weapon. Combat engineers, they're another one of those woe be upon you as they throw a satchel charge at you. They come with free satchel charges. They come with good armor. Hi, I'm the Opponentator. How you doing? I'm showing off Trench Crusade stuff. I do have he's not done. There we go. You guys, if you saw me paint him on Wednesday, that's what this guy is going to be. He is a combat engineer. He's not done, but he's reasonably close. He's at that level of done that I'm happy with him. I'm not finished with him, but I could probably take him to the shop and it'll be fine. But yeah, he's ready to party. But yeah, he can demine a building and some other fun stuff. But then you have so New Antioch doesn't really have monsters. What they do have are mechanized heavy infantry. They're strong. They got bitchin' armor. They can get even more bitchin' armor. And because of the fire team rule, you can have 2 activate at the same time. You can have 2 of them activate, move, and shoot you with fucking grenade launchers. They also look really cool. And I did paint one of them. Mine is not done. But the... Oh, here we go. I started working on it a little bit. So I got the guy mostly painted on Wednesday. Oh, no. I gotta stop knocking my own shit. I got the base, like, reasonably far along, but I need to do, like, dry brushing and some snow effects. And I got the boy. Oh, yeah, check it out. He's part of my... I have a very default New Antioch warband. However, there is a... So, New Antioch also has another strength, which we'll get to soon. New Antioch has the most variants. All their variants are wild. Oh, yeah, then there's the combat medic, which she comes with a med kit, and she can... fuck up models that are knocked over already. Which, I got one of those as well. This one was back from the original Kickstarter. Yay. She's basically done. I think I need to paint her rim black, and then I could take a picture of her. She is very cute. Yeah, she is very cute. But yeah, then anything else? All right, so we are about to show off all the other... There are shovels and there are bayonets. As far as I'm aware, there's no shovel bayonets. I don't think there's both. Yeah, that's it. I actually do think like they are the most vanilla faction. I don't think they're bad though. They still got a lot of good shit going on, and they got, oh boy, the variants. So you got the Papal States Intervention Force. You get less money, but you start with glory. Glory is used to buy the super gear and the mercenary. So like, where's the lad at? Like these guys, like these guys are also like, hold on, these versions of the communicate. That's how you doing, Dino Custodian. But the Sultanate is really cool. I am looking forward to getting Sultanate stuff once the Kickstarter is wrapped up. These guys are mercenaries. You can only buy them with glory. However, you can start with glory with the Papal Intervention Force, which is why. And they get some other variant stuff. Then you have the Erie Rangers. These are your fucking battle Scots, I believe. You get like this one especially very much mixed shit up. Building a trench. You can actually the combat engineers can dig in. Irish, my bad. Yeah, they're Irish. My bad. There's another. I think there are Scottish dudes somewhere in here. I mixed that up. My bad. Okay, yeah, no, you get Irish. Everybody collectively like how Irish. Like, thank you. I do appreciate that. So yeah, you basically trade access to some like heavier armor. Let me see. So you get one less fire team. You can't have as much mechanized infantry. Irie, thank you. But you do get, oh goddamn, the followers of St. Patrick. Yeah, no shit. God damn it. That's it, Ryuka. How you doing? Welcome. I'm showing off Trench Crusade stuff. But yeah, you do get berserkers who ignore blood markers. You get to have 2 trench clerics. And oh wait, no, there are Scotch guys later. There are Scottish guys because the one guys do have bagpipes. There are New Antioch bagpipe guys. That's who I'm getting them confused for. Might be. And they also usually most of the variants of New Antioch has variations of abilities under trench clerics. Away, serpents! There we go. So you can give dice penalties to the model goes down immediately, which is really good. Down is really, really brutal. I saw these guys recently. The Strobtruppen? The Prussians. The Prussians are here. They also... Really, a lot of the variants are like, you get less access to mechanized armor. I need to show you why I love the Prussians in this game. I want to build my New Antioch to be like the Prussians. Here's what they do. You get 3 fire teams. All of your grenades, Strosstruppen. Thank you. I have no idea how to pronounce that, so thank you. Strosstruppen. Thank you. All your grenades get 4-inch range. You can make all your guys get bonuses to dash. You get less submachine guns. That's fine. That's whatever. But you can have up to 8 shock troops, and you don't get anyone with heavy armor. I love that you can have a bunch of fucking idiots with swords and grenades that just charge. Yeah, they basically shock troopers fuck. And I want to build them. I want to build them so much. They're very, very good. Oh, okay. The next one is what I knew that there was a Scottish variant, and I just totally my brain got fucked up. The Alba Assault Detachment. These are the Scots. These are the Scots. There we go. And you get a bunch of other melee bonus stuff like that. You get bonus to your mechanized infantry. Get bonuses to melee. You don't have to worry about penalties to charging. Are there not really for Eastern Orthodox? I think you could run Trench. New Antioch is kind of nice, honestly, though, because like is there a historical like faction you want to run them? You could basically do some variation of New Antioch, and you'd probably get there. Otherwise, I don't think so. There is a Egyptian segment, the Abyssinians, I believe, which you do get to later. But yeah, they do get bagpipes. You do get access to bagpipes, which is rad. You can get Claymore, you can get bitchin' greatswords, and then as usual, how you doing, Pig? How you doing? Pig going Super Saiyan. I have to clarify. There's Saiyan Pig and Dice Pig. How you doing, Saiyan Pig? But yeah, a lot of these variants are like you get less bitchin' machine armor, but you get access to a lot of fun stuff. Oh, then you get some cool axes. Let's go. Yeah, there we go. Abyssinia. Let's go. Yeah, these are the I think it's sort of like a combination of like this is sort of like the Ethiopian forces and stuff like that. They kind of I forget exactly how they move around in there. Like this is there we go. Yeah, this is the Ethiopian faction. How you doing, White? How you doing? Welcome. So I'm gonna give you a suggestion, White. I would actually recommend. Okay, BattleTech is very cool. BattleTech is really cool. If you would like to get into Turnip 28, Trench Pilgrims from this game have really strong analogs for being like crazy nut jobs with like shit gear. I built some of my Turnip 28 guys so they would run with Trench Crusade and vice versa. I think you could do that if you would like to dip your toes in. I think that's a neat starting suggestion. But yeah, their big thing is like they what's it called? What do they got going on? They have these like the Chua, which is sort of they get some bonuses for attacking the same model in groups. So this is sort of like where your yeoman would go. Your yeoman would get into melee. You don't get sniper priests. You don't get Tranchmals, but you got Vanguard. They get bonuses to basically this is like do you want to get up close for a lot of stuff? A lot of hit and run tactics and stuff like that. Also, the guy they get some bonus stuff too. They get some like cool weapons. Warrior's Crown. Actually, increasing your melee characteristic by +1 die for 10 ducats is really good. This is actually really, really good for like you could like basically turn all your yeomen into melee monsters for pretty cheap. Like if you don't want to go into armor, you could go yeoman, which comes with a rifle. You can buy them a shotel for 5, and then you can buy them a crown for 10. So that's like 65 points for like a solid like dude that you can spam. Also, they look pretty rad too. This guy looks pretty rad. He has seen some shit. He has absolutely seen some shit. Oh yeah, I do like some kit bash stuff. Yeah, I do love some of the kit bash stuff you can do for this. Sultanate is really the same musket. Yeah, exactly. You could do that too. I think you could mix and match between the two games. I think you could. The nice thing also about White, Trench Crusade needs like 6 to 10 models depending on how you equip stuff. So I actually would not worry super much. Like if you think this game's neat, you could dip your toes in pretty easy. You don't need a whole lot. Yeah, 6 to 10 is a pretty minor investment. So, all right. How to get models for New Antioch? New Antioch is probably the tied for Black Grail for the easiest models to get. Oh, hold on. We got an ad break. Once the ad break is done on the Twitch side, I will absolutely show you that. It's all good, yeah, Unity. Have yourself a good night and take it easy, yo. Big stretchy while we wait for ad break to wrap up. Let us fucking go. All right, there we go. The ad break is over. So yeah, take it easy, Unity. So actually, Pup, there are stuff appearing on My Mini Factory. Cults is actually where I would recommend going. There's a dude named Mr. Jar with like 3 R's, like 3 to 5 R's, I forget which. He's basically got a lot of variants for most models in the game. If you have access to a 3D printer, Mr. Jar is not a bad option to get into this. Also, but what Ryuka's saying too, it's actually really nice because there's not that many models. You could like, let's use New Antioch as an example. I'm gonna use New Antioch as an example. I'm gonna say you're gonna go vanilla. Let's assume you go the most vanilla you can, and you want to paint every model. Let's just say you're not modeling for gear. You just want to have one lieutenant, 1 trench cleric, 2 sniper priests. Let's say that one. Yeah. Let's say 6 yeomen. That's a bit much. Let's say 6. So that brings us to 10. 5 shock troopers, 15. 2 combat engineers, 17. 3 mechanized, 20. And then a combat medic, 21. Roughly, if you wanted to have an entire, like, all the fucking army of this. If you want to do all of that, 21 models. It will get you the entire range of vanilla New Antioch. Yeah, get that streak. So Knights Templar were responsible for the basically the setting happening because they opened the portal to hell in Jerusalem. I don't think Jerusalem really exists anymore. It's basically like a fucked up crater. As far as the Teutonic Order, I don't know off the top of my head. It's always one of those things, too, if you want to be like, yo, we're Knights Templar that survived, but we're heretics, or we're Knights Templar and we're repenting, so we are New Antioch, or you want to do your New Antioch as a Teutonic Knight thing, you want to do Teutonic Knights as Trench Pilgrims, where you just really make them really crazy and like all fucked up. You could totally do that. A lot of this, like, it's very your dude's game. If you do a lot, like, do some stuff. You'll have fun. Maybe. Oh yeah, there are different base sizes too. So yeah, you could roughly do maybe 25 models if you want to accommodate the fact that there are different base sizes for mechanized infantry. But yeah, you could basically do that. You could do that pretty easily. You could do that. They are eventually doing a We Are Proper Knight Order faction. But let's say if you do want to do knights, here's what I recommend for like a knight thing. I would lean, you got your lieutenant, probably get yourself a cleric. That would be kind of easy. And then you could just lean to shock troopers. Shock troopers are melee. They get melee bonuses and they charge fast. You could use like pretty standard knights for that. That'll get you there. And then you can season to taste with like the combat engineers, or you could take a helmet from like a Grail Knight, or just like any sort of big boxy knight helmet, put it on a mechanized body. There's a lot of like options for big, heavy, chunky infantry dudes. Wargames Atlantic has a couple. I don't know the names off the top of my head. I do know Wargames Atlantic has a couple. You could do Stormcast in theory. You would need to shave off a lot of bits, but you could. Oh yeah, Steve, have yourself a good night and take it easy, yo. But yeah. Steve was tempting me to get another war game. Yeah, excellent. Yes, good. That's the plan. Oh, that's my devilish scheme to get you to play war games I like. Oh. But yeah, have yourself a good night. But yeah, you could totally do it like that. I think New Antioch would be the best base for a knight army. I think that'd be good. If you would like to get some stuff without 3D printer, historicals. Perry Brothers would have some like knight stuff you could use for like kind of the more shock trooper stuff. You could do Wargames Atlantic. They will have a shitload of World War I models. So you could do French, British, German, Russian, American. America does not exist in Trench Crusade because basically because hell controls the oceans. North America is basically untouched. They mention it briefly. Here's the thing. North America is not really the point. The point is like sort of like near Europe and the Holy Land kind of area, fighting for stuff. Now, if you want to do some stuff from like Asia or North America, that's fine. That's not where the focus of the game lies right now. So yeah. I did see some people say like there was like the Taipei Chinese. There's effectively like a Chinese emperor that was like, I am like, I forget if he was like, I'm the son of God or like I am a prophet of God. But he was also one of those people that like, I hear the voice of God. And then missionaries show up like, oh, cool, you're in with God. And he's like, oh, like, what's your favorite Bible verse? He's like, oh, I don't need to read the Bible. I got it. Direct connection to God. And the missionaries kind of backed out, and I believe a lot of people got murdered. They have they have a really cool color scheme of like bright yellow though, so they would actually look pretty legit. But yeah, historicals are good things. There's a couple of different options for heavy armor dudes, which I'm blanking on right now, but I think you could go to Etsy and also look for like heavy armor. I don't recommend using Space Marines as a basis for mechanized infantry. Some people have done that. I don't think it's a good idea. For me, Space Marines have a too strong of a silhouette. So like you look at a Space Marine, even without the helmet, and removing the helmet and the backpack helps, but you do see like Mark III armor, and you're like, that's a Space Marine. That's a fucking Space Marine. Who's haunted. But yeah. Anyway. My boys. This is my boys. These are my lads. Let me get all my lads. I have, other than an amalgam, I have the entire range for this. Ready to go. I have the entire range of the Black Grail. Which I'll go. I have. You've seen a couple of them on the screen. Where's this guy? But yeah, these were the boys at my shop. And I'll show it off a bit later. So, in Trench Crusade, there are the courts of hell that are constantly fighting with each other, right? They're constantly fighting with each other, but like they're still effectively doing like, ooh, we're scheming and planning, and we want to rule Earth. Beelzebub, who would be the Lord of Gluttony, but he doesn't give a shit. He's just trying to kill all life with disease. He just hates life and is just trying to kill everything with disease. Most people don't willingly worship Beelzebub because you have to be a fucking psychopath. Some people do, and we'll explain what they are. You could totally do that, Kawa. A lot of it is just like do once again, do what you want. Some people just use North America as a way to get into big long online arguments with the developers. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you want to do stuff, rock on. Let me grab some of my other left. Yeah, these are the guys who I am maining. These are, so basically a lot of the Hell factions have bug themes. He's very much like flies, you know. I think I did mine more ticks because that was sort of before I knew about it. I think there's some, going to be a future faction that's more tick based. Yes. Hey, let me begin to share my multitude of lads. All them in a big pile. So, here's the thing. Because I built all my Black Grail stuff, I looked into Kickstarter and I was like, I don't really need anything from it now, funnily enough. However, I am getting a Plague Knight because it looks bitchin'. And I am absolutely getting the Amalgam because it also looks bitchin'. But yeah, so Black Grail is very easy to grasp. They have some range, but it's not particularly good. They're actually not particularly slow. They are very melee focused. They don't do a huge amount of damage, but they are sturdy as shit. Basically, everything has a bucket of rules to stop them from being hurt nearly as much. They also have a mechanic called infection markers. So they're not exactly a horde faction. You could kinda, but I don't think that's what you want to do. I'll kind of show you what I mean. Also, they use infection markers. Infection markers are effectively similar to blood markers. You can spend them in the same way, but abilities that remove blood markers need to specify also removing infection markers. So they're harder for your opponents to remove, and some things interact with them. So yeah, let's show off some lads. They also got the Viscera cannon. Viscera cannon, which you can use to fire your own guts, which is fun. But yeah, let's skip through. They have some cool unique gear. I'm a big fan of the Black Grail shield, where you can use an action to make you harder to hit in range. I give that to my Lord of Tumors, and he, not really poo-poo weapons, no. I give it to my Lord of Tumors, and he just doesn't die. It's very great. But yes. Anyway, here's the Lord of Tumors. Now, Lord of Tumors is interesting. Every other faction minus the court, which we'll get to later, the hyper elite faction. Most of your guys, you know, they're like pretty good at ranged and melee, but they're like cheaper. You run a monster as your leader. Also, look at the guys collecting the juice. I didn't get this model. I probably will pick it up later. Like I said, I like mine, so I kit bashed the Lord of Tumors. Mine is a collection of bestiarm kits. I really like mine. It's very personal. It's my own guy, but I still like the default, so I'll probably do something later with it. But yeah, that's my big lad, the leader. And they're sipping the Forbidden Mountain Dew. He's also got the stanky arm, which can just inflict infection markers, which is fun. But basically, most Black Grail models have these rules. They have fear, which means that like if you get a penalty to hit things in melee, so it makes them hard to hit. A lot of things that ignore fear. Trench Pilgrims can ignore fear with their funky helmets. Their iron Kapirot? I don't know. They're funky iron helmets, which ignore fear and shrapnel, a bunch of other stuff. They have a fear counter, but yeah, you got fear. And then Undead Fortitude, which gives a -1 die outside of fire, which is really good. And they basically ignore a lot of penalties for gas. So this was what makes them really, really sturdy. Like, I can't stress enough, a -1 die is reasonably powerful. Like, because it's always removing the highest die. So, like just for fun. Like, look at that. That's not that surprising of a roll, but that means that 6 is going away. And that means your attack misses. Oh, it doesn't wound effectively. Does not kill him. Does not really fuck him up. So it makes him really, really sturdy. And also, a lot of them tend to run pretty high armor. So like the Lord of Tumors doesn't come with armor, but you can easily get to -3 armor without trying. The pugnant postulate poper. You guys are fucking doing the fucking, god damn it. It was only a matter of time. It's fine. It's fine. The feculent fire team. Anyway. Then the Plague Knight. So, a lot of people that join the Black Grail don't. They get infected and they turn into a zombie. And their body sort of shuffles against their will. Plague Knights are when murderers are like, let me join you, Beelzebub, and setting the world on fire. They look baller. They look baller as shit. They're not particularly interesting, if I'm going to be honest. They're a collection of good keywords. They're good at melee. They're undead. They got the fortitude. They're strong. They got fear. They're cool. Not exciting, but very, very good. I have one. This boy. He wasn't meant originally to be one, but I kind of retroactively made him into one because it makes sense. He's a big armored fuckface, which is really nice. And then you got Corpse Guard, which here this is my Corpse Guard because he's like less armored, very, very ticky. Corpse Guard are pretty solid. They're just good beat 6. They can take damage for other people though, which is really, really good. Skill plate does go hard. It really does. It really does. But yeah, this is mine. They're very. I made them originally to be like a heavily armored and a light armored, but I'm thinking Plague Knight, Corpse Guard seems right. Seems good. And yep. So they can drink blood from their enemies, and they can take shots for nearby dudes, which is nice. Which is very, very nice. And you got the servants, you got the dogs. They're fast, and they can't equip to anything. They're like fast objective holders that can still maul a dude. And I got one of those as well. I'm going to be showing off a lot of my models for this, because like I said, this is my warband. This is my dudes. My boy. I painted him on stream a while ago. It's actually been like a couple months, I think, at this point. People like the dog. Even if he's like laying. Oh god, hold on. Wobbly. Have to be very, very careful. And or probably need to re-glue him. Oh, hold on. One of his arms got... I'll have to figure it out later. Anyway, I'll probably got to re-glue the dude a little bit. Not the worst. Then we got the Grail Thralls, which are the... Like, I'll just go ahead and show off mine real quick. I've leaned into making mine look more insecty, so I have like 9 of these dudes. I don't think you need 9. I was sort of under the impression early on that these guys were very hoardy. I don't think I would go that way, but you could. Yeah, I like, yeah, all these are like, the default one's pretty good, but like, I like my style now. I might still get this later. So if you did the Kickstarter and you like to pick up stuff later, all these will be on my mini factory. So I'll be picking and choosing and buying some more stuff in the, Grail Thralls. They're kind of slow. They suck by default in melee, but the more you get into melee, the more accurate they get. So you can dude spam and they are very cheap. You can get a flying version which doesn't get undead fortitude, and you can get a ground version which does. So it's like cheap ground sturdy guy or a flying objective holder. Both are pretty good. Both are pretty good options. And the Herald of Beelzebub. Last one. Oh, hold on, we got one other. Where the Herald of Beelzebub, which you've seen mine. This guy, he's fresh off of maybe like a week or two on the stream. I love him. I love him so much. He turned out really, really good. I'm a big fan of mine. The default one is a lot like thicker, like more tumor-y, but I kind of like my more fly one. And they're fast. They're hella fast. They're huge, and they cannot equip armor. But you can buy an upgrade for one of them. This Maddening Buzz. Really get one? Okay, I think you can buy more than one now. They make actions risky actions for your opponents, which is really good. So like, I like to fly mine really close to my enemy, but like on top of a building, and just make everything shit while I fire with shotgun blasts. Very, very fun. Very, very fun. Also, if they get charged, they can skirmish to get the fuck out of there. And then the Amalgam, which I don't have. This is the Grail's big monster unit. It fucks super hard. It's got 5 hands, which you can equip with multiple weapons. It's sturdy as shit. I don't think it can equip armor. It can equip a trench shield, though. And it just has a -2 penalty to injury dice because it's so thick. So, I don't know how it stacks up. Like, I've used it on the table a little bit, but I was using the demo, which is not built super great. But goddamn, look at that model, though. My plan is I'm just going to get the default model, and I'm going to add more bug bits to it. You could totally do it. You could totally get my mini and just put, like, little of my faces in there. But yes. And then now we're getting to the Dirge. The Dirge, okay, I'm going to get into a little bit lore here. Anytime a disease gets really good, like it's really big and infecting everything, it coalesces into a hegemon, which turns into a big fuck-off monster. There's only been 2 of them. One of them, Jonah Ark had to battle, and I think she also died in the process, I believe. Hegemons fuck shit up. But when a hegemon dies, effectively that like version of the Black Grail disease can't ever really become ascendant again. There's still worshippers of it. But at this point, Beelzebub's like, you failed me, get the fuck out. But these people still kind of like move around. They're still zombies. But they effectively kind of like really lean more into like the sad funeral dirge version of undead. Like these, like probably more so than Nurgle models. Black Grail is very undead focused. Like, you got poxwalkers, but that's really about it these days because 40K doesn't really deal with undead a huge amount. Because outside of Necrons, which don't really, you know what I mean. There's not a lot of zombies and skeletons. And then if you go to like Fantasy and Age of Sigmar, there are factions that are like, yeah, we're the undead factions. We do undead shit. Get the fuck out of here, Chaos. Get the fuck out. But the Dirge wildly change up your list. So like normally you could have one. You can have one Plague Knight. In the Dirge, you cannot have a Lord of Tumors or an amalgam, which is a pretty big deal. Not having a Lord of Tumors is a pretty big deal. However, you get 3 Plague Knights, and one of them gets toughed in a better range increment. The biggest thing, honestly, in my personal opinion, is the Bereaved. Your Grail Thralls normally can't equip guns. The Bereaved can. And instruments. They can use instruments and ranged weapons, which is a big deal. I think a lot of people like to give them grenades, which is very fun. But yeah, you got a lot of limitations, but because your chaff now has grenades, and because you have 3 Plague Knights, like you get like it's a very different experience. I will be building a Dirge Warband. I've had an idea for one. I've been printing some models for it again. I did that thing where I was building some Dirge, but like I wasn't feeling it and I moved on to other projects. But between this coming out and also like because I got a better printer, I will be putting together some Dirge stuff because like I said, they're very different. They like compared to regular Black Grail, they are functionally almost a different army, even though they share a lot. But yeah, I have some ideas to make them more like mushroomy and zombie ghosty-ish. That should be fun. And they also get this really cool thing where you can spin infection markers on your opponents to make your thralls do like ranged attacks and charges and stuff like that, which is really, and you get some cool upgrades. And okay, before we go to the last faction, the Serpent, how would you build Black Grail? 2 routes, really. I'm not gonna lie. If you have Nurgle models, you could do worse than using them. A lot of Nurgle models, you could do Poxwalkers or like Plague Bearers for the thralls. You could use maybe I don't know, like some. You could use some Blight Kings if you got the Blight Kings kit for a lot of stuff in there for like Plague Knights and Lord of Tumors and stuff like that. I'm kind of like once again, I'm a little snobbish about some of the stuff, but like if that's all you got, do it. The other option is to lean more undead, is just to get like find some undead models of your choice. You could do some Fireforge has got some good stuff. Really zombies, just like a lot of zombies options will get you there. So yeah, that would be another way to build the Grail. Whatever, either way is a good way to do it. Is a good way to do it. Now, we're gonna get probably the weirdest faction. The Court of the Seven-Headed Serpent. So, true demons can't really directly interfere, but there are parties of like lesser demons and like weird offspring mixes of mortals and demons. Because if you're like part mortal, you still technically count as being of this earth. And ooh, get you some parm, yo. Have yourself a good night, Joker, and take it easy. Have a good rest. This is a dream team for Nurgle, Dave and Kid. Exactly. But so yeah, you get to play basically the closest to true demons in this. Also very much like it's the usual like, hey, Hell forces bicker and fight amongst each other, which is why they haven't won. Like if all the Hell factions got their shit together, it'd be pretty bad, but they don't because demonic court politics. The way the court plays is very, very elite. They're going to have 1 Praetor and or 1 Sorcerer. You're going to have maybe a couple of other elite dudes. And then you're going to have a bunch of like weird degenerate beastmen that are flogging the ever-loving fuck out of the wretched. Okay, kind of like the slave humans. So, also their art looks banging. This is a model you can use. I'll explain what this is later. God damn it, Potty. So, you basically have to choose a sin. I don't think they have all the sins. Also, once again, I love the Ophidian rifle. So usually, if your opponent is like more than half its distance away from your gun, you get a penalty to shoot them. If they're behind cover, you also get a penalty to shoot them. The Ophidian rifle, spitting in the face of God, actually gets more accurate the farther away you are and is more accurate behind cover because fuck physics. Anyway. So, the big thing is that the court uses goetic magic. Goetic magic is spent by using blood markers that are on mortals, not demons. So if you do damage to your opponents, you can spend their blood markers to activate certain spells, which you can get. You get a Burning Inferno in general, but also there's a lot of like spells specific to different sets. So yeah. However, because a lot of your own dudes are demonic, you can't just like rip damage off of your elites. That's why you have the Wretched, so you can have your legitimately. I need to show you this. There are torture instruments. You actually only roll a d6 instead of 2d6 for the injury table. Because the idea of the torture implement is not to kill, it's just to bleed. You use it on your own dudes to make them bleed blood so you can use them for blood magic, which is kind of fun. But you can also use your opponent's blood markers, which would help them, but you know, sometimes you gotta. Yeah, you got some Wrath stuff. All these they got some neat abilities. I'm not gonna go super in depth for all these. Just let you know that you can customize your warband based on stuff. Lust is actually kind of fun because you can load up one of your dudes with blood before the battle starts, and then you could use Exquisite Pain just to load your opponents with blood markers, which is fun. Oh, how are you doing? Okay, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm explaining how to Trench Crusade, and it's been pretty neat. It has been pretty banging. Let's get to the... Actually, I'm going to take a really short idle break, and then I will be right back. I will be right back, so stay tuned. All right, I'm back. Let's go. All right, I am now filled with more water. Less water and more water. Less water in me, more water in cup. So, hey, let's go. Let's go. So, time to show off the models of the court. Now, I have heard the court is like maybe busted. I don't know if that's true exactly because I haven't got to play it. The models definitely have a lot going on. So I'm going to save your trash. Okay, nerd. Anyway, so let me see. So let me pull up my where? I need my Christian warning. Hold on. I label this better, but I am. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let me double check because I think the Praetor has a loose tit. Oh, there we go. I think it's fine. Anyway, we'll show that later. Anyway. So the Praetor's big thing it's got going on. It's got a lot of good shit. It's got 10 inches of flying movement, which is insane. It's got +3 range and melee dice, so it will basically always hit whatever it fights. It can do magic, which I don't even think is the biggest deal. I think there's some powers that are just kind of fine. It's fine. It's whatever. It is tough, it is strong, and it causes fear. So it is incredibly sturdy. It's incredibly sturdy. I'm just gonna cover this side. I think this should be good. Yeah, because it's a very cool looking model, though. I believe that I forget if I decide to get this one or not. I am getting some stuff for the court, but oh, look at that fucking face. Very good. Very, very, very good. All right, and then we got the Sorcerer, which I believe is safe. Let's go. The Sorcerer is also very good. So the interesting thing is the Praetor is not... The court is a weird faction in that there's no mandatory leader. You can kind of do whatever you want. There's a bunch of different elite units. You can kind of just pick and choose. I think having at least a Praetor or a Sorcerer is recommended. Sorcerer's less good at everything, but you got 3 poetic magic things, and you can spin blood markers. I'm actually building a Sorcerer. Let me show you. She is not ready yet, but I can kind of show you the general vibe. Oh, yep. I got the base. We got this the inverted cross. I have another one of these. I have these like little worshipy dudes. I cut off their heads. I also cut off their arms a little bit, but that was an accident. That's fine. Oh, hold on. There's another one that has his head chopped off. So they're going to be like worshiping here. I found this model on accident yesterday, and it inspired the fuck out of me. Check out this. Like, I cut off the feet because there's the sorcerer's supposed to be floating, but like I also like roughed up the little connection point between there. The rules to my children. Yes, exactly. But yeah, I tried to glue her before stream. It didn't work. But yeah, it's just gonna be like this big floating kind of like dual demon. I'm thinking like envy or lust probably for like the my band. I'm pretty excited though. So that's, I don't know if that will be done. I don't know if it's gonna be done in time for next week, but that's the general plan. That's the general plan. Let's go back to here. Oh, what else we got going on? I'm just so I haven't played it. I've heard good things about Amnesia, the bunker. Artillery Witch is OP. They seem pretty banging. The fact is though that you don't get any bonus to range means you could flub a decent amount, but it's whatevs. Also, yeah, the sorcerers look pretty legit. Got this chunky fucks. I think the chunky fucks will be coming up soon. Oh, this is probably my favorite model from possibly the entire range. The Hunter of the Left-Hand Path, very expensive. They got like a cool flesh bow, and they really have the ability to spin blood to sort of teleport around the battlefield, which is really, really legit. They sort of spin blood to be really agile. Look at this fucking thing. I am so ready. I've been kit bashing the fuck out of these, all my Trench Crusade stuff. I'm probably gonna do this one vanilla, because like, it's so good. It's so cool. And he's got like, teleport on top of a building with blood magic and then start big sniping. That sounds pretty legit. Got them. You're gonna notice like you got a variety of elite units that do cool shit. And you got the Hell Knights, which are just, they're cool. They're just big knights. They're big knights. They get some blood magic spells that you can get some boosts with blood. They're just big knights. They're neat. They are tall though. Like they're 40mm base, and I have one that is way too small. Like the Kickstarter made me realize that these are supposed to be like Stormcast size, and I made one that was more like Chaos Warrior size. So that was a bit of a mistake. Not the worst though. Then you got the War Slave. So you got the Yoke Fiend. The Yoke Fiends are fine. They have no range option, really. Their big thing is that they can attack friendly models, though. Like, you basically... They also are forced to charge enemy models as well. But yeah, so you got the Wretched. Let's go. Short Curse Kings. Mine is in particular. So yeah, these are the Wretched from earlier. They originated this warband. They're cheap. They suck. You can't have more Wretched than you have demons in your army. But you just have the Yoke Fiends just flay them purposely for extra blood. And then you use the blood to power your Goetic magic. So I think effectively the plan is you have the Yoke Fiend, Wretched, and then, well, how much is the Torture Implement? Torture Implements are... They're 8. So altogether, that's a package of like, let's see. I think it's like 58 altogether. Yeah, 58 points for like a little blood engine that you just camp out in the back. Isn't too bad. Oh yeah, the see-through stance is pretty cool for a lot of stuff as well. I don't know, mine's too thick to do a proper flying thing, so I'm gonna have her just kind of like coming out of coming out of just like blood on the cross. Yeah, you can't let the. I also think it's because like these guys are shit. But if there was no limit, for 20 ducats, you could run like, say, 10. You could run 30 of them, plus like $100 leader, 100 ducat leader. Not in this faction. Well, actually, I think you could run a Hell Knight for exactly 100. He would have no gear. But here's the thing: even if all of your rolls are garbage, eventually, through sheer activation advantage, you could drown your opponents in models. Like eventually you'll roll well enough to hit and kill, and then eventually they cannot. So if you're engaged with the model and you decide to leave the model's activation, other models get like, it's effectively like a D&D attack of opportunity on you, which is I like as a system. It still means you can leave. There's a risk, but you can mitigate it. But it also does mean that, like, if a Wretched's like, I'm gonna tie you up, you could just ignore him. Like, you might get a hit. And, the Pit Locust, the boy. This is, hey. This is another model. So, also, once again, I should say that here's my Wretched. I have 2 of them. I need to print some more, just in case I need a bunch. I don't think I need more than 2, realistically. But yeah, I have an official Pit Locust. Mine has some tentacles because when I was priming it, it fell off the primer stick and then broke, and I lost the wing. That's fine, I guess. But yeah, no, this is an official Pit Locust. Yeah, let's go. Tuomas sent this to me along with the Trench Cleric, and I'm extremely thankful because it was a very nice thing for him to do. I love the sculpt. I did buy the sculpt again. I will be getting more of these that I can just print at my leisure. But this is gonna be this is one of the most, unironically, one of the most special models in my collection, because it was a fun little. So yeah, they are. There's a lot of like what I call dog type units where they're just kind of like, what do they do? Like the Lion Gingerbeer, the Plague Hounds, and these guys. They can't really equip weapons. They're still good in melee, and they goes fast. This thing goes fast, like ties up enemies, and maybe holds objectives if you feel like it. It's a little expensive for objective holding, but like, you still fuck up some. Like you could still like, because it's got flight, you could really just park yourself on top of a building and wait for a good opportunity to strike. Oh, hold on. Whoa. Oh, I know what happened. I was using the D-pad in OBS, which is not correct. Also, they look rad as shit. They look rad as shit. I guess, so they fly? I always assumed those wings were just kind of like armor. I guess they flap? I don't know. Maybe it's best not to think about it. And then they get... This is their monster unit. The Desecrated Saint. It's effectively finding somebody who would have been a saint and corrupting them first. They do not have any range. They don't fly though. They're armored as shit. They're meleeed as all fuck. And you got different demonic auras, which is cool. Let's go. Yeah. The power of Satan and anime. Oh god. How you doing, Nerf? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm showing everybody Trench Crusade, which is really cool. I've been digging this game, and I like everyone's been pretty jazzed about me kind of just like showing you stuff and things, which is but yeah, so they got a bunch of different R's depending on what sin you tie yourself to. And they look so cool. They look really, really rad. I forget if I got one of these as well. I have a list of what models I will be getting from the Trench Crusade Kickstarter. I need to double check that. And yeah, then you got the general list of gear, because a lot of gear is shared by multiple factions. Oh, how would I kit bash? Or like, how would you get models for these guys? This is going to be a weird spread. So, luckily, I think this will be relatively easy. Just demons. There are 40k demons. There's D&D demons. Demons of all sorts will just be good. You just need to make sure they're on big enough bases. Demons will get you the big hero units. I actually think the hunter might be a little hard to kit bash or whatever, but otherwise, sure, there's gotta be some like demon archer model. So yeah, I would just say like your demon of choice, whatever demon you can get access to. Hell Knights are just big knights. Chaos Knights are going to be a little short, but you can use them. Stormcast you could probably get pretty cheap and just give them a different helmet and paint them to be all fucked up. That would be an option. Besides that, big armor dudes. I actually think more so than other factions, the minis that are aimed more at D&D players would probably benefit the court. You can get some big armored knights, you get some demons. Yoke Fiends would be best to do like Beastmen, Bugbears, Ogres, anything that's just kind of like a big fucking dude with some armor. Probably more Beastmen would be a bit better because you get some like bestial stuff. And like there are Warhammer Beastmen, but also just like the idea of a Beastman guy, like a Null mini. You could just use Null minis for Yoke Fiends and be fine. And then Wretched, just like, you know, just like humans that are just like slave models. You got some options. You got some like, or maybe some like whipped cultist or whatever. So it's harder than the other ones because I could say like New Antioch, buy a box of World War I Brits, not Brits specifically, but you know, they're an option. You can just buy a box of World War I Brits, give them some swords and some cool helmets, and bam, you got a good chunk of a New Antioch force. These ones I do think you could go to like the D&D mini section and pick and choose your way to a force. So I think that's an option you can. Then otherwise, you know, so there's a couple of other things left in the book. That I don't think are super going to be, I mean, there's gear for days. You got, like, this is like I said, most of the profiles in this game aren't going to be like a Warhammer model. They're not going to have a billion special rules. They'll have like 3 at most, and a lot of them are pretty intuitive. Oh, this guy's harder to hit. Oh, this guy gets to do a little early move at the start of the game. And then otherwise, you're mostly doing stat checks and then guns. And then guns are where all your abilities are at. So, like, yeah, automatic rifles got 2 attacks and assault, which is pretty good. I'm not going to go into all the weapons. You got the basics. You got the shotguns, you got the assault rifles, machine guns, you know, sniper rifles, satchel charges, flamethrowers. You got everybody can fight unarmed. I would not recommend. Give your guy at the very least a trench club. They're cheap and they don't do much. Trench clubs and bayonets are basically will be fine. And armor is armor. It makes it hard for you to die. You get special little extra gear bits. And you got some scenarios. I think boards are typically 4x4. I think we played them on a 3x3 board. It's not too bad. The tricky thing is that most guns have the long range guns have a maximum range of about 36 inches. So on a 3x3 board, they basically get free real estate from their starting location. 4x4 means they do have to move in position, but use what you gotta do. You want to be in general pretty terrain dense. The thing. It's like we got the little board that I set up now. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so like when I had this earlier, I'm just gonna move some dude. I don't think my example was a great board density thing. Ideally, you would have some like climbable buildings. Add this little thing in the middle. You just want to make sure you have a couple of options for dudes to weave around and just not get murdered by gunfire. So trenches are good. Especially because like you can kind of like I made these trench tiles so I could be like just move that. It's just still a little sticky, but they're not too bad. Something like this. Oh yeah, these are just 1-inch insulation foam. If you guys want to know a good, let's see. I get mine from Home Depot. Specifically, they have like craft boards. Like I'm pretty sure you could go to Home Depot and get like a 2 foot by 2 foot by 1 inch foam board. And I think it's like $20 or $30. Don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I bought one. You get that. You can get yourself a knife and you can cut that up into 2 1 foot by 1 foot trenches, which I have some, but they're just not in this room right now. Then you can get 8 of these 6-inch by 6-inch one. And then you can kind of use that to configure a table. This is Sculptamold tile grout, which makes it a little sturdier. Like the tile grout makes it so I can kind of like poke into that because it's effectively like little concrete. It leaves a little dirt texture. It's very absorbent of liquid, so it will absorb paint pretty well. You can do that. That will give you a real basic one if you want to jazz it up. If you want to really jazz it up, I'll probably go more into terrain stuff tomorrow when I'm doing my terrain painting. You can just get like coffee stir sticks and whatnot. Everything is really shiny because I use some really cheapo satin brown paint for all this. Let's get some coffee stir sticks just to add little wood planks. I'm going to repaint these. This is craft corrugated cardboard. Corrugated paper. It's very flimsy. I reinforce this with Mod Podge, which gives it a little bit more like rigidity. And then that's been spray painted brown, dry brushed a dark metal. This looks like a cupcake, like a big thick brownie cupcake. I'm probably going to do some rust effects and then dry brush it with an even brighter silver because right now it kind of blends it. No, absolutely. When I made these, this looks delicious. I would love the idea of a brownie that is, honest to God, that thick. I want a brownie that is that thick right now. That sounds great. But alas, this is made for wargaming and not for consumption. Yeah, you can make it like with these like little modular trenches. Like I could put like a little trench pilgrim guy in there, and he's got, let's say, what's another? Whatever. I'm just gonna put an artillery witch on the other side. Like he could shoot her. If she had a gun and not a bomb, she could shoot him. She can still hit him with a bomb. But just pretend this is gunfire. They got cover, but they could like maneuver their way around to get into the stab range, or just say fuck it and just go over no man's land. That's what dash actions could be good. Oh shucks. But yeah, there we go. And you got a couple different objective, like what's it called? Not objective. You got a couple different scenarios. They have a list of terrain you might want, which is very, very nice. Building, dangerous terrain, difficult terrain, impassable terrain, a hill, which is probably going to be like a trench, some trench stuff, fences. I think in general, you just want to have like as much terrain. Honestly, if you guys would like to make terrain for this game, look up for Mordheim. This is not Mordheim exactly, but most buildings that were made for Mordheim can be made for, like, you can use like a ruined kind of shitty building. It would look fine. Put some trenches around it. Put some like bomb craters. You're fucking gold. You're fucking sold. Terrain tutor would be good. There's a guy called like, it's like there's a dude I know on YouTube that makes a lot of good Mordheim specific terrain. I mean, in general, if you just go like moored time terrain on YouTube, you're gonna get so many fucking options. Devs and Dice. Devs and Dice actually has some like pretty good shit. I hope you like using foam board because he recommends it a lot. He recommends it a lot. But yeah. So he's a good option. Terrain Tuner's a good option. You got a bunch. There are options for days. You got Old Games Workshop terrain tutorials. Just get a bunch of terrain. You'll be fine. If starting out you need to use books and like stuff around your house, also fine. If you have 40k terrain, use it. Like use terrain. Use what terrain you got. But it is fun to make. Like I enjoyed the terrain I made for this. It's gonna be great. It's gonna make our games that I play at the shop very special. And yeah, you got a couple of different missions. I'm not going to go super into them. Different scenarios. Once again, the thing I like is like there's like a little marker on there, but instead of having like a little circle you got to hide behind, I do like to just like control this building. I do like that. And this is how you get glory. Also, each mission has glory stuff. So, hey, if you do like effectively, it's like getting a fucking achievement. If you get an achievement, you get a glory point, and glory point is gates a lot of really powerful gear for each faction. So, hey, if you're not going to win the scenario, if you're playing a campaign, say fuck it. Say fuck it, go for the glory. Also, once somebody gets one, once somebody claims one of these, if somebody does bloodletting to get 6 blood markers on a dude, once somebody claims that, the other player can't. So you could race for these as well. And yeah, they got a bunch of... Once again, I'm not going to go super heavy into the scenarios. You got some good options. There is a new scenario that they released, which is about a train battle, which is really fun. That might... Maybe that's how I get into model trains, is I get a fucking train for Trench Crusade. Jesus Christ. Besides that... Also, the thing is, too, a lot of these will have, like, limitations on, like, what do you allow infiltrators? How many models can you deploy? So... If you're starting to fall behind in a campaign, there are some scenarios that like will limit that. And there you go. You got a scenario generator, which I imagine eventually someone will automate this. So you just hit a button and a scenario will be rolled, which is kind of neat. Not gonna go super heavy into that, but it's cool it's there. Yes, I'm going to grimdark my way into being a train uncle, for sure. And that's it. That's all the stuff from the book at the moment. So as of this, hey, if you're in the future or you're watching now, this is version of the rules 1.5. I don't know what the launch version is going to be like. It's going to officially launch the finalized printed rules in like June of next year. Maybe there'll be some delays because usually there are for Kickstarters. Who knows? But realistically, the book that we're going to be getting is going to mostly be an art book. I think there will be rules in it, but I feel very much that the game will continue to change after that gets released. The rules will always be free online, which you can get them here actually, along with like, I want to also mention the fact that there is you can get that if you go to the playtest rules. I believe there is a demo. Let's see, it's been a while since I clicked on. Yeah, there's some like quick start rules which will have like models that are pre-built. They were pre-built for version 1.4, so the point values will be a little weird. But hey, if you're overwhelmed by the amount of gear and you just like you want to go to the shop, just bring some buds. Just bring some buds and just like you could just print these out. Oh yeah, apparently they made the Kickstarter thing where I think they're gonna get Wayne fucking Barlow to do some art for this game, which is fucking rad. But yeah, so they got beginner, which is like 3 models, like 3 or 4 models, and then intermediates, which are like 6. This is still less than about 700 points, but yeah, you're doing well with it. Okay, rules do be real. Also, I need to reiterate, if you would like help building a list, Trench Compendium is really handy. You can use this to build your list. You can export it into formats that have like all the gear you're bringing and what the gear does. Very nice. Strong recommended. Biggest hot take for Trench Crusade 4th Ed. I thought it was bullshit when they made Primaris Yeoman? No, I don't know. No, let's see. For actual hot takes of mine, it's because of the piecemeal nature of the game at the state. I want the lore to be in one spot that people can read. Let's see. I want that having the gear kind of be off by. You do have to flip back and forth where you're like, okay, I'm building a Geoman. He's got a bolt action rifle. Where do you find out what the bolt action rifle does? In the back of the book. You have to be like, I don't know. And like Trench Compendium does fix that. So it's not the biggest deal. It's a reasonable complaint. I've seen other players at my shop who are like, this is kind of bullshit, but whatever. It'll be rectified, or you could just print off a list of all the weapons. I think that's also valid. Otherwise, I don't have a huge amount of complaints for the game just yet. Mind you, and I need to stress this, I have played this game twice at the moment, so I'm not an expert. I know how to play. I know what everything does. But if you're like, build me like a real powerful list, I don't know. Local metas could be very different. Like if New Antioch is showing up a lot, there are like infested rifles from the Grail will actually remove a lot of what's it called? Will lower the armor penalty that you have to deal with. I think Sultanate has something like that too, where you basically make armor less good. So maybe if someone plays a lot of New Antioch, that might be the way to do it. Is it my favorite war game? I mix, because I also, hold on. I still like Turnip 28 a lot, and I am excited for the Turnip 28 Kickstarter that's coming out, because I'm not allowed to have money. However, they're very different games. Sometimes it is fun to play Turnip and have a bunch of chucklefucks drown when they're trying to cross a swamp. Other times, I want, so this wasn't even a game I was in. I finished my game early and I was watching a guy play Heretic Legion versus the Sultanate. They were inside of a multi-story building where the guys inside the building were having a shootout with the people outside the building. And then eventually the Heretics deployed his Warwolf, which crawled up the side and pinned the Janissaries inside the building. And that was rad as shit. The Heretic is gas grenade spam. It might be, actually. I do know a lot of the Black Grail, what's it called? The Black Grail Dirge variant has a lot of their Grail Thralls given gas grenades, so who knows? But the nice thing is, like, hey, you can buy gas masks. If gas grenades are giving you shit, you can just buy gas masks, which is fine. You do have to invest in it, but, like, they're not the worst. You can do a lot worse than a gas mask, so, that should be fine. But yeah, other than that, that is basically Trench Crusade in a nutshell. Does anyone have any questions? Like, once again, like, do you need to... Oh, I believe you. I have not gotten... Like I said, I'm curious how my local meta evolves. So the group that I'm playing with is the same group I play Turnip with. So nobody is, like, hyper sweaty. So we'll find out. We'll find out. I'll find out what my local area is going to form into. So we'll see. Also, because I play Black Grail doesn't give a shit about gas. Hell yeah, motherfuckers. Brat me all you want. I dare you. I don't give a fuck. That's Everest can't use flame or shrapnel because it damages the loot. That's fine. I think it's aight. I have seen some of the newer players are like, wow, Hal, I really can't kill any of your dudes. I'm like, yeah, no. A, it's on purpose, but B, I did do really well in one game where I killed someone with a parasite grenade by rolling boxcars immediately. Like, they didn't have any wounds. I was just like, my plan was to throw a parasite grenade and then charge. Because I was like, okay, I'm going to soften up with a grenade, I'm going to get in there with my axe. And then the grenade killed him in one hit. And I was like, Huh. But yeah, no, my group is cool. I'm not super worried. Will they eventually maybe, like, change some things? Maybe. Just make gas grenades more expensive, probably. Who knows? But yeah, any other questions to wrap up? If not, I might... So we're, like, close to 3 and 22. I have been doing a lot of directed yapping today, so if I need to wrap up a bit earlier, that might not be too bad. Matchups are clearly one side. That does kind of seem true. It definitely seems like this is a game where you want to have, like, some counters to a lot of stuff, and some factions don't, or, like, some factions, like don't want to bring them all the time, I'm sure they'll figure this out. I think as usual, if you want to min-max this game, you can, and I would like to hope that eventually they'll like things will be as smooth as it possibly can. But we'll find out. We'll find out. I hate the beta, like it's still in beta thing, but yeah. Huh. I think even in beta, it's still a really fun game. Hopefully, if there are a lot of issues, they'll get. And or a Finnish army guy. Hating that guy over there. I mean, I think Wargames Atlantic sells Finnish World War I models. I think what you would want to do is what's it called? I think what you would want to do is run them as New Antioch. Let's see. Trying to find. There's okay, they do. So Wargames Atlantic, the guns are a little sci-fi, but they do. Like, do they only have digital versions of this? Oh, they only have digital versions. Okay. Let's see. Great War, World War One. Yeah, I actually don't know who does Finns. I would say New Antioch. I say New Antioch would be the faction probably. I'm sure somebody does historical World War One Finns, like WW1 Finnish mod. There we go. Those definitely exist. Those definitely exist somewhere. This is 28 millimeter. This is well, kind of like 32 millimeter. Historical walls might be on the smaller side, but you can make them more. They're not. Here's the thing: the difference between 28 millimeter and 32 millimeter isn't that big. Move some shit around. Let me move my giant ass around. So yeah, these guys are like 22 millimeter dudes. And, oh, hold on. Do I have even closer? Max zoom. There we go. Let's go. Whoop. Yeah, I haven't used this zoom in a while. Okay, so we got these guys 28 millimeter, and then my turnip guys are 32 millimeter. So, like, is there a little difference? Yeah. Is it the worst? Nah. Like, the difference at that size isn't too bad. Like, if you keep everything roughly at the same scale, it's not going to be too bad overall. Yeah, historicals, I mean, also, if you're not doing the Kickstarter, I actually do believe a lot of people. Historicals are probably the easiest way to get World War I guys, so you're probably going to still see a lot of them, especially depending on your scene, but... Good vary. There we go. Hey, moving over here. Otherwise, fine. I also don't know if it's I'm going to be honest, I'm not a historian. I don't know if so. Like Wargames Atlantic does some pretty reasonably sized World War I model. So they do Germans, Brits, Russians, and the Americans. They got Germans, Brits, Russians, and French. And I don't know a lot about the Finns, but it's distinctly a possibility that maybe you could take one of those that have like a close enough coat and give them find some different helmets or something. Oh, I'm doing pretty good. So how you doing, Nana? Welcome. How you doing? I'm doing good. I've been yapping about Trench Crusade, which is a game I really enjoy. It seemed like everybody was generally pretty jazzed about it. So hell yeah. Fucking yeah. Let's go. But yeah, any other lingering question? Totally forgot where on the list there we go. On your nids today. Hey, let's go. Very nice. I'm big drinking the water. Oh yeah, every time I hear about Finns when it comes to war stuff, they're always fucking insane. But yeah, actually, yeah. Going back to New Antioch, actually, what I would recommend here. There we go. Let me bring this back up. We're gonna big scooch. There we go. So yeah, a lieutenant wouldn't be too hard to kit bash. The thing is, There are like sniper priests, so actually you can bring 2 with the default list. So if you would like just to recreate sniper fins, I would strongly recommend getting 2 sniper priests. You have to buy their guns too. Like, you could run 2 sniper priests with sniper rifles, put them very, very far away from the fight. Rock your trench cleric, your lieutenant, and at that point you can just yeoman, shock trooper, and everything else season to taste. Season to taste with everything else. But yes, that's if you do want to go the Finnish fantasy, which is skiing and sniping. I do think sniper priest would get you there. Yeah. Definitely new Antioch would be your faction. Otherwise, yeah, okay. I think that's it. This is gonna be a little half hour. I can feel a bit of scratching coming. So, with that, thank you all for coming. Let's go to the outro. Yeah, there we go. Thank you for coming, nerds. I had a lot of fun. Oh, thank you. Thank you, that guy over there. Schedule-wise, tomorrow. If you saw some of the terrain that I was using today, I will be painting that. A lot of them are like base coated effectively. I need to do a bunch of highlights and stuff. How's Alex? How you doing? I am wrapping up, but I had a fun time showing off Trench Crusade, which is a really, really, really banging game. So yeah, tomorrow I'll be working on some terrain, and the next week I'm still very much thinking of what to do. Now, that's a question. I got a decent amount of people on YouTube. I'm curious, is anybody alive with Trench Crusade? No, it's just some guy. What the fuck is this? Okay, it looks like some like drama thing and then me. Let's fucking go. Let's see what's going on in the VTuber category. I'm probably gonna get AI stuff. There's so many like constant AI stream things. There's let me see. Someone's streaming League of Legends. Gross. Not a fan of that. All right, I'm on YouTube. This is the VTuber playing Pikmin. Don't know if they have raids enabled. I'm going to try. Let's see it. Let's see if I can set up a raid. See if I can set up a raid. I'm going to make an attempt. Oh shit! Okay, we are going to we're going to raid into Rada Rokora from V Mirai. She's playing Pikmin. I don't play MOBAs. They're bad for the soul. They're bad for the soul. I'm not going to do that. And who am I raiding on the Twitch side? We'll basically raid at like roughly the same time, which should be fine. I'm not rating critical. No, cease. Who is on right now and doing shit? Who's doing stuff? How about? Oh, here we go. We can go from vaguely crafty stream to another crafty stream. We could do a Santa Bonbon. She's doing an art stream. She is a DIY bear, and it looks like she's doing a lot of drawing stuff. I did raid Mittens kind of recently, so I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. There we go. We'll do that. All right. So with that, we have 2 raids queued. Once again, have yourselves a good night and take it easy, nerds. And I will see all of you goofs tomorrow. So bye bye, nerds. Bye bye, nerds. Bye bye. Yeah.